What's up? I'm alive and I'm alive. What's going on? It's 6 p.m. I have a timer this time so I can time the callers. I'm getting the hang of it, I'm trying. There's a little bit of a delay, but I'll just give like five to 10 minutes before people come on. Who's there? Anybody there? It says there's 5 watching. Could somebody say something? Could you guys see it? Could you see me? Welcome to chat. It says, is the chat working? Oh, come on, man. I don't feel like any problems today. Hey, is anyone there? Okay, good. Whew. Hey, Joshua. Hey, Simon. Hey, Louise. Hey, Tomo. Tomo? Did I say it right? Aloha! Look at you going into the stock chip hub. Hey. Okay, good. I thought I was... I got started a little early and I was trying to fix the bugs and stuff and I was freaking out. I was like, no, please, the chat wasn't working. The show that I did last weekend, the chat was working during the show, but then when you replay it, the chat wasn't playing. So I'm like, dude, when is this YouTube gaslighting gonna stop? Hey, Martha. I'm just going down. Joshua, Simon, Luis, Tomo, Martha, Eric, Mark, Harry. I think I got everybody. Hello. Oh, what? You're from Nigeria? If there's anybody that's watching from like the other side of the planet, would you email info@truthortalk.com and let me know the time zone that you're in? So right now it's 6 p.m. and I would like to know, because maybe I can arrange some kind of call-in deal for people out on the other side of the world. Like maybe I'd have to wake up at like 4 o'clock or something like that, and then I'll just give you the Skype connection, and you can call through that way, so you're not really you're not having to spend money if you want to call in. But I would love to hear. I love to travel, and I don't know when I'm going to travel again with all this craziness. That kind of makes me sad. That's one thing that's really bumming me out. I do want to go to. I want to go everywhere, but I get it's midnight in Nigeria. Is that a good time for you, Harry? Is this a good time for you? So I guess when I did my 9 o'clock show, it was 3 o'clock in the morning last time. What? You're in Barbados? What's going on? SoCal. It's my hometown. SoCal. What's going on? I'll start taking calls at 6:10. I do that. Just let a little more people come in. That's so cool. Man, having this channel has been such a blessing. I've made friends, I've gotten jobs, I've made connections, I've met people from all over the world. It's been really, really, it's been a blessing. I love YouTube, with the exception of the censorship that's going on right now. But it's a wonderful, wonderful thing, I think. Hey, Corky. Hey, March. It's a fair time. I sleep pretty late most times. Okay. That's cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get up earlier, and last time I did like a 9 o'clock show, and I ended up getting to bed till like probably 1. I think I stopped at 12 or 1, and then I'm the type of person, I need to like settle down. I can't just go to sleep. I need to anyway, so that sucks. I hate people like that can just go to sleep. My best friend's like that. He could go, one of my best friends, he's like that. He can go to sleep anywhere, anytime. He'll just sit up and sleep like this and like not move and sleep. He's a freak. Hey, Diana. Or is it Deanna? No, Diana. Hey, Mark. Yes, Mark, Jason Walker. I heard about Project Vector. I should talk about that a little bit. I saw it on Highwire, and it actually made me laugh. So I just got a question that somebody asked me, did I hear about Project Vector? Hey, Andrew, what's going on? You're welcome. But Project Vector is this organization that's basically been put together to track anti-vaxxers or people that are questioning vaccines, whether they call themselves anti-vaxxers or not. That's what they label you. And it was just kind of funny because they don't really know what to do. They're trying to spend all this money on tracking people that are anti-vaccine. They've spent all like billions and billions of dollars on this, okay, doing that. They've been having campaigns on, trying to smear people that are questioning vaccines. Like they did a thing a few years ago, or no, it was a year or so ago, where they put anti-vaxxers on like the world threat list. Out of all the threats on the planet, anti-vaxxers, but they keep growing and growing, right? Like it's not. And then the WHO had a conference it was the beginning of this year or the end of last year, where basically they were saying that so say most of the majority of people are kind of like in the middle, and then they have the people that are staunchly pro-vaccine and people that are anti-vaccine. And the pro-vaccine people, for every one person they convert to their side, the anti-vaccine converts 500 people to their side. And then Newsweek put out an article saying that anti-vaxxers if anti-vaxxers aren't stopped, more people are going to be anti-vaccine that are pro-vaccine at this rate. So Project Vector is basically, they're trying to figure out what they can do. So they had Highwire showed videos of their meeting, of the conference that they had, and this guy was just basically like, yeah, like, we don't really know how to track them that well. It's kind of hard because they really are a true grassroots movement. He was like, yeah, they don't have any large donors. They have a few large donors here and there, but for the most part, it's just people getting together and like, yeah, exactly. Oh, they're not safe. I thought you said they're not for sale. But yeah, I'm saying people, but see, they're dumbasses, because the reason why anti-vaxxers keep growing, is because people keep getting injured by vaccines. It's just that simple. So if you have the smear campaign, and you're telling, and you're scaring people into getting vaccinated, and then they get vaccinated, and then, or their child gets vaccinated and they get injured, or they don't get injured. I mean, their child gets injured or they get injured by vaccines, and they're gonna be like skeptical of vaccines. It's not fucking rocket science, but these guys are so arrogant and so brainwashed that they think that they're in the right, that they can't see the forest for the trees. It's a real simple solution, but they're just going to keep with their vaccine program until, I guess, everybody gets injured. And will they then see it? I don't know. Joy Rocco wants to call and do this live show. What is the number to call? Okay. Are you ready, Joey Roca? Is that Italian? I'm going to give it to you. You got to be the first one. All right, ready, Joey? 512-481-7464. 481. 512-481-7464. Hello, or yo-yo. Who else did I miss? Ramis Lambert. Right? Yeah. Sounds like I'm ready. I'm waiting. People need to shut off their TVs. You ever listen to a song? The Slime? It's about TV brainwashing. The Slime? I'm gonna look it up. My friend Max Egan is into Frank Zappa. I've never really listened to Frank Zappa's stuff, and I heard that he was a pretty woke person. The Slime, okay. Hello, who's calling? No. 512-481-7464. Did I type the wrong number? 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. Join my email list, info@truthertalk.com. Go buy a Conspiracy Realist t-shirt. Go buy a bumper sticker. I'm still. Are you not? What's going on? Hello. Is this Joey Roca?
Hi. Hello. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah. Who is this? Who is this? Is it Joey?
Yeah, Joey Rocha. You guessed kind of close. I'm Mexican, but I guess maybe there could be an Italian Rocha, maybe like almond Roca.
Rocha.
Yeah. Joey,
Okay.
I'm a big fan of yours. Of course, I'm subscribed to you, and I watch your videos. You do a great job of being unbiasedly bold of your opinion, and I love it. I just came back from a Black Lives Matters movement protest. I recorded it on my YouTube, and I was interviewing the Black Lives Matters protesters. That for some reason we're all white, by the way, but that doesn't really matter. But
those are light-skinned black people. You don't know.
What?
I'm just kidding. I'm like, they're light-skinned black people. I'm totally kidding.
But anyway, so I asked them the question. I said, so the Black Lives Matters movement is protesting for systemic racism. I said, can you prove it exists? And they laughed at me at first, and then I got into a debate with them. And the thing is, it's like fighting for green elves. If green elves don't exist, you can't be fighting for them. Systemic racism does not exist. And, so anyways, I was going into all the different facts with them. And it's crazy how this Antifa Marxist movement has them brainwashed into emotions. It's just like the women's rights movement. If you don't have ovaries, you can't tell me I can't kill my unborn child. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're fighting for systemic racism. And I asked them, I said, did you know that the richest black people on earth live in America? And they doubted me, and we Googled it, and they said, okay, well, that still doesn't prove any point. Black people are killed more by the police. I said, that's not true. We went over everything, and no matter what I said, they actually eventually begged for me to leave. Otherwise, they were going to call the police. And I just said, I was going to let them call the police because the police would have done nothing.
Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, I'm not here to make enemies, but it's just amazing how they have everybody brainwashed into this Marxist movement where they believe they're fighting for something that they're actually promoting. They're actually promoting hatred. They're actually promoting division. And I get it. A lot of them are well-intentioned. A lot of them are well-intentioned, fighting for what they believe to be right.
Well, they say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And, that was one of the reasons I stopped teaching, because I realized that I was a part of this stuff unwittingly, when I start to wake up, to it. And I kind of, like, I get those people anger me. And then I'm like, a lot of those kids are probably some of my ex-students. I think that's my biggest fear of, like, going to one of those protests and seeing some kids I used to teach, and having to be, like, head to head with them. So I try and keep that in mind too. Sometimes when I'm looking at these protests, and I'm just praying that, like, a lot of these kids, there's part of me that, like, they need their ass whipped, because I also feel like they're just spoiled and they don't know. And, I feel like when I was, my parents whipped me, and I was kind of like that honorary person. I kind of needed to be whipped in order to learn. There's nothing a lot of times you couldn't tell me. Look at my personality now. So imagine myself as a kid. If I wasn't tempered, I was just allowed to say, I'm pretty bold and say whatever I want to now. But I also know that I have limitations, and I listen to people. But if I didn't have my parents to kind of reel that in, there are people that just walk all over other people because their parents never taught them limitations. So there's and then a lot of people don't really learn like that as adults unless they get their ass kicked.
That's true.
And it sucks. Like, I went to school with this guy, and he was like that. He was really mean to people and just said what he wanted. It was really nasty, and spread rumors and stuff. And then when he was right when we graduated, we went to performing arts school, so he got a dance job in a show in Japan. And I guess he, like, was, this is the story, I don't know but I heard the story, from many people, that he was, like, backstage, and he was outside in the alleyway, and he's smoking, and somebody said something, and he blew smoke in their face, and, like, 5 guys came out and, like, whipped his ass. He was in the hospital. But now he's, like, the nicest guy. He's, like, the nicest guy.
It's the cowardly lion syndrome. Dorothy slapped the lion, and he starts crying. And then she has to apologize to him. And that's what this whole movement's about. That's the whole leftist liberal movement, is the victim mentality. And you know what? I mean, if there really were victims, then yeah, you should stand up for them. But they're not actually victims. They're victimizing themselves and others. And as you know already, the Black Lives Matter movement, it's a fake race baiting movement, and it's hurting black people. A lot of people think yeah, you know what, it's bad for white people. No, it's actually really bad for black people because what do you think the black people like yourself and others that do not support the Black Lives Matters movement, other people who are sheep, when they look at maybe somebody like you and they look at your skin color, they probably think to themselves, geez, I wonder if she's one of the ones trying to cry wolf. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for anybody. And it was created by the LBGT Antifa and funded by George Soros. So I mean, right there, we're just smelling red flags everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic divide and conquer tactics and stuff, you know? I mean, there is real racism, but it's more in the forms of like, you know, the politicians that are privatizing prisons and making it so poor people, when they go to prisons, you know, they can't have a functional lifestyle, so they have to go back into crime. And it's on a higher level, right? I would say that's like where the real systemic racism is, but I don't think that, you know, just because you're black or a certain color, that you're doomed to fail forever, you know, and like, you know, does that make sense? You know,
No,
yeah.
100%,
And then,
because I was a kid, I used to get bad grades all through elementary, middle school, and high school. And you know what I used to tell my mom and dad? I used to say, oh yeah, my teachers don't like Mexican kids. Did I really believe that? Well, maybe I wanted to believe that, but in reality, it's just a free ticket out, right? It's just an excuse.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
the problem. The whole victimhood mentality is that if you can excuse your way out of things, it might seem all good for the time being, but later on, when you have to function as a human being, nobody cares about you crying anymore. Once you reach your 30s, nobody cares. Oh, they don't like you. Oh, that's why you keep getting fired. That's why nobody's hiring you. It's a cop out, and it's crippling people. It's literally
it really is. You're right.
Victim mentality.
You're right on it. So do you look Mexican? Are you Mexican? American? Or are you Mexican? Do you look Mexican?
Mexican American from New Mexico, my second generation, but I live in Hawaii now.
But do you look Mexican? Do people think are you light skinned or dark? Do you see him saying do you look Mexican?
I don't know if you know who Nate Diaz is. He's an MMA fighter. Pretty much people say I look like the clone of him.
Okay, so, Nate Diaz. I'm looking up Nate Diaz. But you know what I wonder too? And I feel bad because I should, you know, I don't, but like, I think about like the people that aren't black and white, right? We're always talking in terms of black and white as far as race, but there are other ethnic groups and races. And I feel like if you're like Latino or Asian or any other group, a person that's not technically American black or white, you feel like you kind of have to pick sides. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, where do I go? You know, do you feel like that?
Well, they feel unjust too. Like, because trust me, when I was younger in New Mexico, there was gangs all over the place, right? There was different gangs, but it was mostly Mexican gangs. And it's the same victim mentality too. You know, you got to have pride for your own race, supposedly, right? Yeah. So it's like what we used to call it in New Mexico is brown pride, right? Yeah. We victimized ourselves too. Yeah. None of those people made it in life, and they all complained that it was the system that brought them down. No, the fact is that it was the victimhood mentality, and just like you know very well, it matters if you have a mom and a dad. That's
for
the most
sure.
important thing.
Plus, or family support.
Is trying to do it.
Yeah, or just family support, neighborhood support, community support. Yeah. But also, it's like,
community.
Why do Africans come over here and like run circles around black people? You know what I mean? Like a lot of Africans that come here, they don't have that. Huh?
Because they know there's opportunity here and they don't play victim.
Exactly, but I'm just like, it has nothing to do with their skin color, you know? And a lot of Africans and black Americans clash because of that. And I feel like I have some African friends, and I feel like I get along with them because I don't have that victim mentality shit, you know?
Yeah, I go on lots of black conservative shows talking about the Black Lives Matters movement being an evil movement. Yeah. And you know what they tell me is that they're glad that I'm Mexican. They think that I have an easier time saying it than they do, which is surprising to a lot of white people, because a lot of white people don't know that when black people speak out, they get called sellouts and coons and Toms and all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I mean? It's like no matter what, they're going to call you a racist if you're black, if you're white, if you're whatever you are, if you don't agree with them. That's a Marxist trademark right there.
Yeah,
call you a
you're
name.
Right. Yeah, I'm so bored with that though. Like that doesn't even bother me anymore. I'm like, can you be original? You know?
Exactly.
Like, you know, if somebody calls me something original that I still won't even get mad. I'm like, well, at least that's original. It kind of made me laugh a little bit. But I'm just like, do you have any other words in your vocabulary? Like, you know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Just get out of my way. Huh?
Only the words they saw on CNN. That's the only words they know how to use, you know, and That's
And in
sad,
school, but I
but
mean,
that's the only word they use.
and we say it's just CNN, but you know, it's in narratives, it's in TV shows, it's in
Yeah,
movies, it's in,
everything.
so it's been, you know, this has been, especially this generation, they've been brainwashed with this from such a young age. And that was another thing when I was a teacher, not only was it starting to freak me out, you know, because you know, my students would be like, you know, tell me, oh, teacher, you should watch this show, you should watch this. Or, so, you know, sometimes I'll check out kind of what they're watching and just get familiar with it so maybe I can relate to them a little more. And I'd be like, God, this stuff's horrible. Or your parents let you watch this? Or like, this is terrible. Like, you know, oh my God, you know, like, why? You know, I'm like, okay, you know, I guess. And then, you know, just seeing the movies that they're into. So it's been a long systemic time coming. And then you have all these latchkey kids. And I remember my mom used to say that when I was younger. And my mom was just always around. And I was mad at her because I wanted to be bad and do stuff. But I never couldn't because she was always around. But she would always say, yeah, I know, like, I'm grateful now. But she would always just be like, I don't want you being a latchkey kid. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, you know, that's dumb. And I'm not going to, like, whatever, you know. But it's also, too, a lot of these parents, you know, and I'm not a parent, but as a person that has lots of friends that have kids, and as a teacher, I love kids. But a lot of these parents, they work and they're overwhelmed and they just basically let the TV or the computer babysit their kids. And it's so bad. It's even video games. Even though I think the graphics and stuff are really cool, like I don't hate video games, but there's just so much, you know, and plus like I think the video game community is very toxic. The way that they talk to each other, they just talk shit about each other all the time. Like nothing complimentary. They're not supportive of each other. They just call each other names, derogatory names and stuff all day, you know? And it kind of desensitizes you to other human beings too, so.
Well, no, 100%. I mean, what happened to respect and morals and stuff like that? They're almost gone. And that's really what that's what I'm fighting for, and I know that's what you're fighting for too in general, is it's not just saying, oh, you know what, this Black Lives Matter movement is a horrible movement. Just like somebody who says the KKK is a horrible movement, they're not necessarily just fighting against the movement. They're trying to say, let's get our values back. Let's get our morals back, because you know what? You can't just leave people to be on their own. When there's a movement that's growing and it's creating evil in people's hearts and hatred in people's hearts, you know, if you don't do something to stop it, it grows. It's not going to stop on its own unless we speak out and we're brave enough. And the truth is, if we have a community that's all around us that has hatred in their heart and has victim mentality in their heart, they're going to influence our children. I know you don't have a child yet. Yeah. You're going to be a great mom. You're going to be a great mom. And I know you know already. Wait till you find a person that you know that is the right man, that can be a good dad, that can provide for your children. Because that's obviously the thing that the Black Lives Matter movement does not talk about, is that Mexicans, black people, white people too, they don't have dads in their families, the majority of them, that are socioeconomically depressed. Because the richest people in America aren't white people, it's Asians and Indians from India. Yeah. And it's because most of them have morals and they have families.
Yep.
And that's why
family support.
The majority of black people and white people and Mexican people begging on the street for money because they're homeless. And a lot of them don't have families. But you don't see many Indians and Asians from India and Asians homeless because they have a family. Yeah. You know, they have a mom and a dad. They have morals, they have values and work ethic. And it really has nothing to do with race. It has everything to do with, did you get a proper upbringing with a mom and a dad?
And they have a sense of community.
Grandparents and aunties and uncles.
Sorry. They have a sense of community. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Hold on one second, Jory. I'm sorry. I don't know why, like, YouTube is censoring some of the comments, so I'm trying to catch them as it censors them so people can get through what they want to say. But I'm not really reading as much. I'm listening, but I'm trying to also monitor that. Yeah, they have a really good sense of community, too. When I lived in Taiwan, I noticed that, and I was just like, you know, I was a little bit like lamentful or jealous in a sense, because I wish that that's something that we have in our society. They have just this trust and a better sense of community than we have, you know. I mean, they have their own problems too, but I think that's one of the things I was like, God, you know, I wish that we had that here. And even when I would teach at these English schools, it would be like, you know, I would have a lot of kids that were rich, but also I had some kids that were poor. And usually you had like other family members working second and third jobs just so they can put their kid through English school, so because they wanted them to have better opportunities, you know.
Yeah. It's about leaving behind a legacy for the next generation.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's about, you know what, my wife, she's getting fat and she won't get boob job and I want her to, so I'm going to divorce her and trade her in. And they don't even realize the impact they have on their children because they think to themselves, well, I'm still around. It doesn't matter. The tests show that if the same mom and same dad, your birth mom and dad, aren't there for your whole life with you and together and loving each other, then you're going to have problems throughout your whole life. And as a matter of fact, that's what actually prevented me from divorcing my wife. About 3 years ago, we have a 4-year-old daughter. I was unhappy. I had a victim baby mentality. I didn't even realize it, even though I promote truth. And but I wanted to get a divorce. And then finally, some men mentored me, and they said, "Hey, brother, you can't do that for your daughter. This is not about you being happy or your wife doesn't do this, or, you know, some women divorce their men because, you know, for whatever reason. But what we have to realize is our forefathers didn't have divorces all the time. And the reason why they didn't is because they knew the importance of staying together for your children and for your children's children."
Well, you know, I kind of, you know, it depends on the situation, because if sometimes I've known people that have been in very abusive relationships and they needed to leave for the children. You know what I mean? It's not, it's not good to stay, whether it's physically or either psychologically abusive. And, you know, depending on the situation, if they had still, I feel like they've had success if they had that group family support. So say their mother was in an abusive relationship with the man, and then the mother left with the kids, but they had good family support and they had other uncles and they had other male figures and other people in their life. Then it was like, you know, then it was still like an okay situation as far as I've seen. So I also don't believe in staying in a relationship.
It's an abusive father. Usually it's an abusive father. But here's the thing. Here's another problem that people don't talk about. You're 100% right. However, I'll just add to that, is that what families used to do in the past, what they used to do is, if there was, let's just say there was an alcoholic husband that was abusive physically and verbally to his wife, the other family members would step in and say, "You've got to stop doing that. You can't do that anymore." But now everyone's too afraid to step in and say anything. You know what I mean? So there goes the community that needs to step in. That's why a tight-knit family, a family that actually goes to get-togethers and says prayers together and goes to barbecues together, can step in and say, "Hey, man, you can't be doing that to," you know, what happens to the wife's family? How come her brothers don't go and talk to him in a non-aggressive way and say, "Hey, man, I saw a black eye on my sister, and you can't do that again. If you do that again, I'm going to give you a black eye, my man. And it's not because I don't love you. It's because I do love you." You know, that stuff used to happen, but it doesn't anymore. And that's the problem. Yeah,
our communities are broken
in the family.
Yeah.
But families don't step in like they should.
Yeah.
They're too afraid.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. It really comes down to community, you know. So I want to ask you one more thing, because I know I gotta get other callers, and I said I used a timer, but I totally didn't. I'm gonna try to use the timer in the next caller. But I'm not getting, I don't see other people calling in right now, so maybe we have a little more time. But I wanted to ask you, you're Mexican. Are you like a Trump supporter? Are you a patriot? And how does your family like deal with that, or do they support you?
The majority of my family are Republicans that support Trump and that are against abortion and are for the right to choose whether you vaccinate or not and all that other stuff. But I have a small percentage of my family that are liberal leftists that are the exact opposite. Myself, I don't go into politics at all, but if I were to take the side of the liberal leftist Democrats or the Republicans, 100% I would take the side of the Republicans because they have Christian moral values. And I'm a Christian man. Okay. I used to be like more leaning towards the leftist liberal, and I believed that there was no God. Luckily, I learned the lie of evolution, and that rocked my world. I thought evolution was a fact, and when I learned that there was no proof for it, I was like...
Yeah. It's fascinating, right? Don't let me get on science and how it has become a religion. It's supposed to be a methodology, but it actually has become a religion because a lot of people just defer to stuff that they've heard, and they never really look into it, you know? It's interesting.
That's what people tell you. You know, give me proof of evolution. Fossils. I mean, that's just a word anyways, but how does fossils prove evolution? I mean, what fossil has been studied that shows that we evolved from a monkey or from a fish or anything? None have. And when I started being intellectually honest with myself and started looking into things for myself, actually my wife helped to wake me up. Then I started it's like that's why they call it woke, I think, because it's like you awaken from a sleep. Like,
yeah,
wow, I was just blindly believing everything, like Santa Claus, you know, like, wow.
Yeah, that's
and
why
it's not like they're wrong. It's not like they're just wrong. Like, well, that's what they think. It's just a theory anyway. No, it's not just a theory. It's a liberal leftist lie, a Marxist lie to make you believe the opposite of the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it's deliberately been done. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily liberal leftist, but I would just say that there are people in power that are making people ignorant or keeping them in ignorance so they don't realize their own power. So when I'm excited, I've been developing the outline for my course, and I'm almost finished. And that's really what I want to talk about. I kind of want to talk about that. I want, and I have selfish reasons for doing this, because I feel like the more people are aware of this stuff, then the better society would be for everyone. For me, like, I don't want, the more people that aren't aware of this stuff, they're more susceptible to being brainwashed, and they'll turn on me if I, question the official narrative. So it's kind of like for my own protection too, that I want to do this,
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Well, dude, thanks for calling in. I had another call. Okay, I'm going to use the timer this time. Next time.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. God bless you.
Yeah, thank you
for being a brave woman, because you are so brave. I love you, and all your fans love you, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. But I'm all right. Like, I don't think I could be like a cop or shit.
You are a badass, and you're just a modest badass, which is even better.
No, dude, but I couldn't go out there like those cops that got blinded with those laser beams. I was like, fuck that shit. I'm at home on my computer. Like, I'm good. Like, I could have been in the military or that shit.
There's so many people that agree with you that don't have the bravery. I'll just say bravery. I usually say balls, but I'll just say bravery to put their face out there and their name out there and let people know that that's their opinion. They want to sit on the fence, and you've actually gotten off the fence. And actually, I think it's better the way you're doing it. You reach more people online, because even when you go to sleep, your videos are being watched. You know what I mean? So I think you're doing it the most effective and the smartest and the most nonviolent way, by doing it through your computer screen.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm gonna take the next caller though. You too. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Hello, is this LeJohn?
Yes. Wow, girl, you got me on like speed dial or something like that?
Hey. No, because I was listening. I'm trying to like kind of monitor the chat and listen at the same time, and I saw you're like, I'm calling. I was like, all right, and I knew you're in Cali, so I saw
Unfortunately.
2, 3, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
dude.
now you got the timer on me, girl. I got a couple things to say to you, but yeah. Girl, you hear what these fucktards did to a 16-year-old out here?
Okay, I'm gonna start the timer now. 10 minutes. 10 minutes is still good.
Oh, good.
10 minutes is good.
Yeah, 10 minutes is good. It's better than a couple minutes, like you said. Like, oh, that's what act do. I called him the other day too.
Oh yeah. He does 10 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. Yeah, he gives he sometimes gives me a little time, because I go on a rant like I'm probably do right now.
Okay.
And he's like, okay, just don't bottle the magic. Just let it go. Don't bottle the magic. Let it go.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what happened? I didn't hear. What happened?
Oh, you haven't heard. It's making the rounds. Okay, there was this 16-year-old kid that got put in the juvenile hall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So so he was too rambunctious, they said had too much testosterone in the levels, they said. So you know what our governor sanctioned for them to do to this little 16-year-old kid in juvenile hall?
It's chemical castration.
Oh, damn near. They fed him estrogen. Gave this boy estrogen and told him if he didn't take it, they would take him to jail, and he would never get out unless he took the estrogen they were trying to give him.
Oh,
you know what happened to the kid?
What?
Grew a pair of tits when they finally let him go. Now he's mentally messed up in the head. He's suing the state of California, thank God. And the fact that these people, these libtards out here are doing these kind of things and get away with this is disgusting to me. 16-year-old kid, now this is disgusting, and they're getting worse and worse every day, as you see by these riots. These fake black activists, which these blacktivists, these fake people and these celebrities who endorse this shit, like Ice Cube, like I put in the chat room. Ice Cube's dumbass, one of the richest people to walk around America, and was at one time one of my favorite rappers from my favorite rap group, NWA, because I'm born and raised in LA, so I love NWA. So for him to come out and say, hey, you know what? I think blacks in Hollywood should get reparations. What about the reparations for all the people you fucked in the industry when they first came in and you took away from them because you were the big name and they were a small one, Cube? Giving them reparations, huh?
Yeah,
I know about you, Ice Cube.
Yeah,
I know about you in the industry.
Yeah, that's messed up. Going back to the little boy, oh my God. When I was teaching, they would put these kids, crazy. So I think if you watched, or if I said this, the first 8 years when I was teaching, I taught in between South Central and East LA. And a lot of these kids were on these psychotropic drugs. They were on Risperdal. They were on Ritalin. You know that there was a class action suit against Risperdal. And Risperdal was making boys get gynecomastia, which is tits, basically.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And they love this because I've been saying people. I don't mean to cut you off, but I've been saying people like you and X for a while. They've been trying to feminize the American male, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, no matter what you are. If you got a penis, they're trying to feminize you. And this state in California just showed you how they're doing it.
Jeez, dude. But I'm just saying they were probably on some level they were doing this in the schools too, the inner city schools that I was working at.
Yeah.
Now that you bring that up, and I met a guy in Texas when I moved to Texas. I met a guy at the gym. He was black, and he was in great shape. He looked really good. He had but he was telling me he was in that Risperdal lawsuit because he had breasts and stuff. And I was like, you can never tell. Whoever his plastic surgeon was, amazing. I'm just saying. Because I like to swim. So I saw him with his shirt off. And I was like, you had titties? I was like, can I interview you? He's like, well. And I was telling what I did. And he was like, well, I don't really want to talk about it, right now because there's so many people on the lawsuit that they're basically trying to find any reason to kick them off. So
so they get more money.
Yeah, he deserves his money, but he's trying to, there's a class action lawsuit. I don't know if it's finished, but these boys.
Speaking of kids, have you heard about your girl Chrissy Teigen?
Oh, my girl, not my girl.
Yeah, with her little horse-looking ass.
Yeah,
how is that considered a supermodel?
I just found out.
How is that considered a supermodel?
I just found out about her.
With her child molesting ass.
Dude, and it's funny? I was like, she's John Legend's wife. Like, he's the
what's it tell you about him?
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the total opposite.
I used to love basketball. I'm not even watching basketball no more. I'm a Laker fan. I'm not even watching Lakers season because I'm starting to understand the BS behind all this.
Dude, I don't like Lakers because of Laker fans. You know how that is.
Oh, girl, you just shot me in the heart.
No, I'm just saying. But I used to work at the Yard House, by the Staples Center. I used to work over there, and the Laker fans. They were just like the worst customers. They were the worst. Mm-hmm. They're the most honorary, mean, like super cheap, was abusive. I hated Laker fans so much. And then they would light shit on fire even if they won. I'm like, why are you burning shit up? Why are you having a riot and you won? At least lose. That would make a little sense. But
Before you let me go, because I know I probably got a few minutes left, let's talk about these mayors across America who decided they want to try and rail against Trump because their overlords, Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Party, are telling them, you know what, here's the game plan. We tried the racist run. That didn't work. We tried the Russian collusion. It flipped on us. We tried the Ukraine. That flipped on us. Let's go back to the racist thing and tell these niggas in the street to go start burning their own cities. And by the way, tell your cops to stand down so they can do it faster. And when it starts happening, guess who the first person they blame for it is? Mr. Trump. It's your fault that blacks are... No, it's your fault. You're the one who told your police to stand down. You're the one who told everybody, hey, come over here and just protest with AKA rally, AKA riot. Anytime I hear one of these, it's like when I hear the word a free spirit, when they describe a person as a free spirit, that tells me you're an idiot, you're a liberal, you're a free spirit. You don't care about what's going on around you. So when I watch these shows, these homicide shows, 9 times out of 10, when they describe the person who was murdered, it's always, they were such a free spirit because they were stupid and didn't pay attention to their environment. They promote this stupidity. There's this one mayor in Portland. He decided, hey, you know what? I want to get some publicity points. I'm going to go down here with the people and say, hey, and tell the feds to get out of our city. Yeah, while he's walking towards the federal building that's fenced off now, they're throwing things at this moron. And it's now a meme online. You know what I mean? Where you see the dog sitting in the room burning fire and he goes, nothing here. It's all fine.
I know.
You see what I mean?
No, I haven't.
That's what it was. That was a real life interpretation of it. And they've already made a meme of this dude. That he's walking around, people are throwing shit and spitting at him. And he goes to the gate saying, why are you guys here? You're causing so much, you're causing all this animosity. And they're telling him, you need to resign. We hate you, mayor. And they're throwing stuff at him, pelting him. He gets tear gas because he decides to want to kick it with the rioters, and then says it's urban warfare after kick off this shit. Like that main one. Before I let you go, that main one, that alphabet person up in Chicago. Oh, she's trying to there's Trump attacking all the female mayors. All the mayors he's attacking who run these cities are female. No, it's just part of the agenda that some of these women decide, hey, I get a little power. I'm going to do what I'm told. But, hey, I'm a girl of power. Hey, look here. I was told to do this to all of you, and you're going to do it. And if you don't, we're going to throw you in jail. And then we're going to let you out the next day because they're not really doing one or things no more. These motherfuckers in power make me sick because I see through the shit they do, and I have to walk through these streets of South Central and look at these ignorant motherfuckers who call Trump erasers, who say all this ignorant shit. It's like you're an NPC. You do what you're told. That's why I don't watch mainstream no more. That's why I watch you. That's why I watch Ask Truth. That's why I watch everybody online that tells the truth about what's going on and shit. And I'm a flabbergasted. I can go on, but I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
And the thing that frustrates me too is like people might listen to some people that are pro like the BLM and all that stuff, and they're like, oh, well, this is what black people think. No, we're not a hive mind. We have differing opinions. That's the thing, like that. And it's
some of us don't wear pants sagging.
Yeah. Some of us have belts.
Yeah, some of us act like we're adults. We like to portray we're adults. And here's something else about Black Lives Don't Matter, because that's what me and my roommate call it. Black Lives Don't Matter. You realize in Chicago, more people got killed in a single day under this alphabet person's reign as mayor than when Al Capone ran that city. Let that sink in. When Al Capone, one of the most notorious gangsters in American history, ran Chicago, less people died in a single day when he ran the city.
Wow. Dang, that's deep.
All right?
I didn't know
85
that.
people in Chicago have died since July. But, Black Lives Matter. Unless, we're the ones killing you, then, it's black on black crime. And we all know Black Lives don't matter. Don't talk about black on black crime.
Yeah, and what really messes me up? It's like those people that they get killed in the hood by gang violence, their family members are just as dead as if somebody, that got shot by a cop. But it's like when you bring those people up, they don't care. They don't care. They're like, fuck
my brother got killed.
Oh, wow.
Going to a street party. My brother went to a street party during the middle of this pandemic and I don't know why. I'm like, bro, I don't know why there's an airplane and you're older than me. You're supposed to be smarter than me. Why would you go to a hood party? That tells you only hood niggas going there. So it's obviously lower demeanor motherfuckers who didn't even graduate high school, probably didn't go to junior high because their mama couldn't raise them right. And you go to a party full of these motherfuckers? Yeah, one of them sucker punched my brother. He hits the ground, cracks his head wide open, and bleeds out on the damn sidewalk while everyone's standing there looking at him going, ooh. And his buddy is supposed to throw his party standing there. His mother calls him, what are you guys doing attacking the street? That 15 minutes, my brother. That's why my brother ended up being brain dead. So when I went to the hospital thinking I'd see my brother, he was already dead. No brain activity. He's already dead. But I'm thinking my brother's still alive, and I'm thinking one of the last time with my brother. It's because these motherfuckers are being that right there, and no one talks about that, because, it's black on black. No one talks about none of that shit. But, you let one white officer arrest a black guy the wrong way, and all of a sudden, here comes Black Lives Matter to talk all day long about, this whitey. And then when it turns out that, okay, well, the guy was committing a crime. Oh, well, it don't matter if he was committing crimes. He's still black. Give a fuck if he black. I'm black, and you ain't going to go on the street for me if I get fucked up.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear about your brother.
Yeah, it happened about a couple months ago. And I got an uncle I was telling, actually, he's dying of COVID right now. He might have passed right now. He's out in Texas, as a matter of fact. And he has diabetes. Actually explained to me that, you don't it's kind of like HIV. You don't actually die from it. You die from complications of it because something else plus COVID knocks you off. My uncle had diabetes, so that with the COVID, pretty much he's a goner too.
Well,
my family,
Well, what I've been telling, just from my analysis too, what it seems like they're doing, you should look into this. I mean, I don't know. I know it's just happened recently, and the grief's probably still there, but what they're doing too. If people have complications, they're just presuming that people have COVID right? They're not even testing a lot of people. The
Yeah.
tests give false positives. My cousin was diagnosed with COVID, but he also had a heart attack and 2 blood clots. So does he really have COVID, you know? And the hospital gets more money if they say that the patient has COVID. So I'm just saying, if he was having issues, was he overweight? Was your uncle overweight?
Yeah. Last I saw him, because me and him kind of stopped talking over some silly stuff again. He was kind of a little bit overweight.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'll take that into consideration. That a lot of people that are quote unquote dying, they already have other complications. There are a lot of them are morbidly obese or overweight. Have diabetes, and then that's just a perfect opportunity for them to write that off as a COVID case, even though they probably don't have COVID.
Hey, before I let you go, I just got to know just a little bit more. Our new press secretary, McNeely, I like her. I like how she put these fools in their place. Every time they try to get her, every day I see a new clip of how she roasted somebody new who tried to say something stupid, and she just clowned them just because she's not like she's using rocket science or the smartest one in the room, which 9 times out of 10 in that damn situation she is. It's the fact she uses common sense. And these idiots know that they're pandering to a lower. That's why all this is happening. Before I let you go, Truther, is because the left is now pandering to the lower demeanor. All right, they're pandering to the lower denominator, and they figure, okay, well, this is why I stopped watching Jerry Springer 10 years ago, because this is the people who are out there in the streets right now. Motherfuckers who watch Jerry Springer are out there running the streets because they have no common sense, they have no morals, they have no intellect. So it's easy to brainwash them with bullshit like, hey, blah 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 blah. Hey, go burn the city down. And they will do it because they figure they're doing it for Black lives. But yet you're putting black people out of business. You're hurting black people with this. And when it's all said and done, you know who's fucked out of this the most? Black people, not white people, because whitey's just laughing at you. Asians is laughing at you. Hispanics laughing at you. Blacks are fucking going to get fucked over by this.
Yeah,
all right? And if you think they're not, I got a bridge in Brooklyn and stuff.
Yeah, dude, you're right. Well, thanks for calling in. I'll let you go.
I love you, and I always will, girl. And you stay true, and I hate what happened with your job, but fuck them fools, they didn't deserve you anyway.
Oh,
all right,
you.
You be good, Truther.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464 is the calling number. 512-481-7464. How about kind of looking at the chat? I've been trying to catch I think as if you use bad words, that's what's catching it. If you hey, hold on one second. So if you write something in the chat and doesn't seem like it comes up right away, that's probably what's it. But I've been releasing it as best I could. So, all right, y'all, what's up? Who is this?
Hello?
Hi, what's going on? Who's this?
Hey, what's up? This is Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's going on? I gotta start the timer.
Hey.
Sorry, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Go on.
Okay, so I wanted to see what you thought about Bevelyn Beatty.
Oh, I like her. I made a video talking about how I thought what she did was badass.
I know.
Badass, dude. That was cool. Like, I would do something like that. But I'm kind of picking my battles right now. I want to kind of move more toward educating people and education and doing music. That's kind of like how I want to contribute. But that's something I wouldn't have mind doing if I had the opportunity. That was great. And she had me rolling when that cop was like, he's like, what are you doing? She's like, decorating. I was like, he knew what she was going to do. He knew.
That Tatum show.
Brandon Tatum's show?
She was even saying that the cops were basically just like, no, get up. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Get off the floor. Like, and they didn't even really want to arrest her or anything like that, which I thought that was like really, really good. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to see if you knew about that, because in California, all these kids are basically going to be homeschooled, and there's this group called Operation Underground Railroad. I don't know if you heard about it.
No.
Where, well, it's with a lot of kids that are online, there's a lot of predators out there trying to hit these kids up and send them pictures and stuff like that. All that,
I've heard of that. Yeah. Like when they're playing video games, they'll send them like porn pictures and stuff, right? Or messages. And
And so, basically, a lot of these kids are going to be going to school online, and on the computer, and it's just like a clusterfuck for all these savages out there who are taking advantage of kids, and not a lot of people are talking about it. It's not, you're not hearing about it on social media, on YouTube news, like I say YouTube news because or in main like networks. Nobody's really talking about it. I just wanted to know if you knew anything about it.
I didn't know it was called Operation Underground Railroad, so this is what the pedophiles are calling it?
No. That's so Operation Underground Railroad. It's a group, and they the main guy he used to work for Homeland Security, and this group basically goes out and catches pedophiles, and a lot of them are Americans, and they're going to Mexico, they're going to Southeast Asia, and America is like number one in like child pornography, and nobody's really talking about it. And I just wanted to know, like, not a lot of people are talking about it. They're all talking about like BLM or COVID, and this is like really, really hitting an all-time high right now, especially online. And you're hearing things like Wayfair and stuff like that, which is kind of suspect, but that's basically how these things go down. Like, they're all aliases.
Yeah,
but that was basically it.
I didn't hear that called Operation Underground Railroad. I know that goes on because my friend had that happen to her kid, and that like freaked them out. Like they'll come in, or what's even more, and if you're a parent, maybe you should kind of, monitor your kids. But when you sign up on certain like video game platforms, there are people that can just kind of plug in from all over the world. So a lot of these people use these platforms to like corral kids or coerce kids, into like either meeting with them online or
one of the main games is Minecraft, which is pretty stupid, but you could play it online, and you play it with a lot of
because
people,
smaller kids play those games, right?
all over the world,
and it's not as violent, right? It's like building the buns. So it attracts younger children to play that game.
Exactly,
right?
Yeah. But I don't know if your channel talks about it or not, but it's
I haven't really
taking a look.
I haven't talked about it. I'm open to it. I just I know it was weird, not weird, but have you ever seen the footage? It was like like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. They had they were showing military men. They're like, military men are getting ready to fight underground, and they were showing that they had like all these tools and stuff. And they're like, there's a big threat underground. So I did see like I didn't really relate it to what's going on now, but now that I kind of think back to that, I'm also kind of relating it to what's going on now. But they were basically showing them how they have these tools that they can open doors, and they were showing like underground cities and stuff. I know that they have these underground cities. I know I've seen some of them. I've seen pictures of some of them and stuff. It's so much that's going on. It's so much. I can't cover everything. I think my thing is...
Yeah.
But no, thanks for bringing that up, though. I mean, I know that that's going on, too.
And just so you know, like, there's a lot of people who love you and are praying for you and are praying for this court case that you're going through. Like,
I haven't even found a lawyer yet.
Totally fucked up.
You know what, though? I haven't even found a lawyer yet, and I'm just saying that I would like to. But right now, I don't think I updated people. I'm just focused on trying to make money other ways and just letting it go for now, and I might come back to that. But I really think that it was a blessing because I was miserable there anyway. It was just eating at me. And I was doing a lot of driving. I was having back problems because all the driving.
Yeah, it sounded like that because you'd go on these rants, these hilarious rants, and just go off and just talk so much crap. I was like, man, this girl hates her job.
I hated the situation. I did make a lot of friends in the job, though. I miss the people that I would see every day, because there were some really great people that, like, along my route that worked there, and we'd have great conversations. And actually, some people, I still have their numbers, and I still text them and send them stuff. You know, some people were actually patriots and stuff as well. So when there's this older couple that I work with, and once they found that out, they were like, oh my God, we gotta like connect. They were like all happy and stuff. So I still send them like videos and stuff every once in a while, and little articles, and we talk a little bit. But yeah, man, it was just, yeah, it was really good for me too, because I got to vent a lot, and I needed somebody to talk to about it. So you guys helped me get through that as well, you know. But thank you for praying. But I think right now too, I might go back to it. I still think I have time. Somebody said that they sent me, you know, some information on a lawyer, and I contacted him a couple of times, and he never got back to me. So I'm just like, right now I'm just going to let it go, because, you know, litigation takes a while. I mean, I might probably be tied up for 2 years or so. But I also, right. what's really like kind of ticking me off is that, I mean, I have names and stuff. I have document stuff. I have it on tape. So if I need to, and I feel like I'm going to go back and try and sue them in the future, I'll do that. But what's really bothering me is that, you know, it seems like a lot of people at the top are bought off, and people that need justice, you know, that are getting discriminated against right now because everything's so politicized. It's really hard, you know? So, right. But I appreciate it. I'm sorry I didn't update you guys about that. So I'm not going through a court case right now. But right now I'm just developing my course. If you want to support me when I come up with my course, if you want to take my course, that'd be a huge help. That's what I'm developing, you know, kind of trying to educate people in a formal way about a lot of this stuff. So, yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Oh. All right. Great.
Okay.
I don't know if my time's up, but I gotta go now.
Okay. Okay. I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye.
All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Bye. Okay. 2 more people called in. 512-484. So 481-7464. 512-481-7464. He had 44 seconds. 512-481-7464. 512-481-7464. I will type it in the chat. 512-481-7464. I said hello before I answered the phone. That was kind of silly. Hi, what's going on? How you doing? Who's this?
Hey.
Who's speaking? Who's this?
This is analog reasoning.
Oh, hey, what's up? I've seen that. I remember that name because it was a really interesting name.
Yeah.
How you doing?
How you doing? Good.
Where you from?
Hey. Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, cool. Are you originally from the East Coast?
Yes, I am. And I'm in Crazy Town, actually, but I wanted to ask you, are you getting unemployment?
I started, but I lost my job toward the end, and I was kind of thinking, I was like, damn, I should have quit. And just like got unemployment before that. So I just got like the last month or so. Yeah, so I am, but I don't know what's going on with the stimulus and all that and the extra unemployment kids. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that.
They're extending.
Huh?
They're extending it, so you should be all right.
Oh, they are? Are they for real?
The Democrats want to extend it, so they already passed that in Congress. So they're waiting now on the
Senate.
Republicans.
The Republicans. I know it sucks. Yeah. It sucks, man. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, so I don't know. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to like freak out about it. Because I'm like, I just lost my job and I can't really work anywhere. I have to wear a mask. So, you know, I guess I'm looking, you know, well, I'm really trying to develop my own thing. So that's what I'm really working on right now. You know, my own stuff, my own thing. you know, but yeah. So we're just waiting for the Republicans or the GOP, right, to like.
Well, that was the last I heard of it. So, but then again, with the news, you really never know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah, totally. And then it's like, you know, I was talking to a friend about it yesterday. He's a little bit older than me too, and he got fired. Like, we worked the same job, different cities though, but we got fired. He got fired like a week or two before I did, and he was just like, well, if they're gonna oh, I didn't start the timer. I'm gonna start the timer now. Sorry, I'm really bad at the timer thing. You got extra time. He was like, yeah, there's gonna be riots if they don't extend it. Like, people are gonna lose their fucking mind, you know.
Right.
If they don't like extend the 600-week extension. And I can kind of see in a sense where they're like, oh, well, it's making people. I'm still making less money on unemployment than I was at my job, you know. I'd rather I was making more money working, so I'm not making. But that $600 has definitely been helping me, you know. But they're saying that more people are. It's actually de-incentivizing them to work because a lot of people are making more, you know, on unemployment than they are in their regular job, you know. I'm like, not me, but still, like, yeah. So I don't know. How about you? So what do you think about everything that's going on? You're in Ohio?
Yeah, I tell you, I wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat because we're pretty much. Can we swear or are they cutting us out?
I don't care. You know, I don't care. But I think in the chat, I've been monitoring the chat room, and I think that's what it is. It's picking up chat words, but the live stream is fine. I already designated this isn't for children, so you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've been trying to cut down on my swearing anyway, so I'll give it a shot.
It's hard now with everything that's going on now. Come on.
I know.
That's like my only vice too. Like, I don't smoke. I don't really drink a lot. So, you know, like,
swearing is our only outlet.
Yeah, it's my only outlet to like be bad, be naughty. Yeah. So go on. So you wake up in a cold sweat.
Yeah, I wake up in a cold sweat because unfortunately, you know, this whole race thing is so blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
And just hear me out. People may disagree, and that's fine. But I gotta be honest with you. I live with black people, dated black women, had dinner, Thanksgiving, we're all just people.
Yeah, for sure.
I never really looked at them with some like they were different because of their skin color. But I know people do, and unfortunately, it's our politicians who are the fucking racists.
Yeah. Well.
And they're reinforcing this whole thing.
It's divide and conquer. You know, if we're busy fighting each other, we're not going to have the strength, the emotional, mental energy. Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I hold on. I was trying to just call it. Person was calling. We're not gonna have the strength or emotional energy to look toward them to see they're creating the real problem. You know, I really don't think most people are racist. I think, you know, for some situations it can be a defense. It could be ignorance to a certain degree. It could be a defense mechanism, you know. If you were in a situation where most black people were against you and you had other white people to band with for protection, you probably would band with the white people just for your protection, you know what I mean? Not that you necessarily, you know what I mean? So, or vice versa. If I was in a situation where, you know, a lot of white people wanted to kill me and there were just black people and I had to, you know, band for them for protection, or, you know, I think that we're being psychologically and emotionally manipulated. But it's like, I don't know. I think there are people that are easily manipulated depending on how insecure they are too about themselves. So just like, I don't know if you listened to the first guy that called Joey, you were talking about like the whole victim thing. And if you're not, a lot of people kind of fall into that victim mentality because they don't want to be held accountable for their own actions.
Right.
And
right.
if they're not held accountable for their own actions and they can play this victim card, then they're going to, because really that's how they've been trained to survive. If that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, I agree to an extent with that. I lived in the ghetto, okay? And it's our ghetto out here. And
Ohio?
Like any other, pardon me?
Ohio?
Yeah,
Okay.
Cleveland. We have ghettos too. And they're no different than Detroit or anywhere else. There's rules in the ghetto. And that's the one thing about the ghetto that I liked, was there were rules that you followed. Everybody knew the rules. And I'll tell you what, the only problems I ever had in the ghetto were with white people.
Really? I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, were you bullied because you were white? That happens sometimes too.
No, not
so
at
what
all.
were the
not at all.
What were the problems you had with white people?
Say that again?
What were the problems that you had with with white people?
They were just assholes.
In what way though?
I had one guy whacked me in the back of the head. I wasn't looking, obviously, and tried to rob me.
Oh, wow, okay.
Fortunately, there were several of my brothers near, and they took care of this guy. They saw the whole thing happen. So, it's the white trash like this, and then the politicians are the problem.
Well, I think it depends on the situation, because there are white trash like that, and then there's also black trash, and there's also Asian trash, and there's also it kind of depends on I guess where you are. But I think the main thing, I just kind of think of it as like a black magic mind control spell. Like I say that jokingly in a lot of my rants, but it is kind of like a spell. It's kind of like it's nonsensical, and I think honestly only a small amount of the country is falling for it compared to the rest of the people in the country. I think that a lot of people are so integrated now. They've been trying to push a race war for years, and they've been unsuccessful.
They're starting to get pretty close.
Well, but they're also banking on the fact that we have this, the COVID-19, people are restless. Even when the Ku Klux Klan was around, from what I heard, I'm not like justifying anything they did, but it was, they kind of used the fact that black people were trying to take their jobs and made it seem like black people were a threat to them. So they got together and, as they're, and from their point of view, they're thinking of it as a defense mechanism. But I think you can manipulate somebody to the point where they get to a point of psychosis because they think that they're the person that they've been manipulated against is a physical threat to their existence. And that's why they start lynching people and burning people. There's a guy who has another YouTube channel. He's probably talked about it, I don't know, on his channel, but we were talking on the phone yesterday. His name is X Truth. And he was basically saying that he just went to the pet store with his boyfriend, and this guy got mad at him because he didn't want to put on a mask and kicked the door out of the window of the store out of his anger because he was so mad. And he kept saying, "I don't want to die. You're going to kill me." And he's basically like coming after him. And it's like, well, now that guy he's psychotic, right? He just probably lost his job. I'd fire his ass if he worked there. You know? but this guy is thinking that these people are a threat because of the media, because everybody's been manipulated to think that, oh, if you don't wear a mask, you're killing people, right? And they're doing shit like, the WHO says if you're asymptomatic, you can't pass it on to people. And the WHO is like the holy, grail of information that people defer to. And there's no scientific evidence to prove that if you're asymptomatic, you can pass it on to people. Yet, they're playing commercials saying, if you have COVID-19 and you don't know it, you can pass it on to somebody else. So fuck the facts. But they're playing the propaganda out. And people that are susceptible to that are, acting out violently. So the same people that are susceptible to that are the same people that are susceptible to the racist propaganda on both sides. Right?
Right.
And now because of what's happening and they're seeing Black Lives Matter get away with all this shit, I'm sure now there are a bunch of white people that are getting together and they're like, they're banding together because now they're being manipulated, they're being scared, and they wanna. So something might play out. I think something might come to a head racially in an area of the country, but I don't think it's gonna be like the whole country, and I don't think it's gonna be for long. And then who knows? We might go to war with China, and then we'll all band together as Americans. Who knows? But I think it's more of a manipulation thing, and I'm glad to know that you're not falling for it. It's good to know that there are people that aren't, and I don't really know a lot of people that are. And I just see the people that are really buying it up is just it's kind of like their own issues and their own insecurities that they're like they're wrapped up in, and that's why they're so easily manipulated. I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And, they're pushing this narrative that it's the black communities who are suffering the worst of the COVID.
Yeah.
And so then you got to ask the question, then why is the black community suffering more COVID-related, illness and death and that, and it goes back to now poverty and, I don't know, whatever else they're pushing. And I think that's counterproductive.
Well, I think, though, when I've kind of looked into that, they're not talking about things that a lot of the people that have been diagnosed with COVID are morbidly obese, have diabetes, heart issues. And these are all problems that are really, really prominent in the black community. That's one. Two, there have been at least 4 nurses that are whistleblowers in different parts of the country that have come out and talking about the procedures that they're using with the ventilators and how they're basically killing black people, maybe unwittingly, just because the people in the hospital are following orders, but by putting them on ventilators and following improper protocol. And then there's 3, they are also just diagnosing people that die of other diseases as having COVID. So I think I don't think that because you're black, you're more susceptible to getting sick with COVID. I think that those are other factors those are the factors that play into why, quote unquote, black people, it's hitting them hard.
Yeah, but they're trying to make it seem like it's something that's really fucked up. And the Native American reservations have the highest COVID rate per capita because of the population. And, their lifespan for a man is 40 years old.
Well, they have a lot of alcoholism.
Well, diabetes, alcoholism.
Yeah, but
suicide.
It's man-made stuff. You know what I mean? It's not like it's preventable.
But they don't have running water.
That
they
too,
do
clean
not
water.
Have
I
running
mean, yeah.
Water, and they don't have electricity.
Yeah.
In the 21st century.
But hey, let me let you go. Analog.
Okay.
Sorry, I gave you extra time. I'm so bad with the timer, but I know there was somebody else that was trying to call in, but I'm trying to get more calls in this time.
Yeah, gotcha.
Thank you so much,
nice talking with you.
You too. Thank you for calling. I'll talk to you later. Be safe.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? Who's this? Who's calling?
Hey, it is Jabari.
Hey, Javari, what's up?
It's Javari just calling in.
You're in LA too, right?
Hello?
Are you in LA or Cali?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, Virstyne?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? Hello? Javari! All right, Javari, I'm gonna let you go. I don't know if you can hear me. Hello? Who is this?
Hello?
I can. Oh, hi. Who's this? I'm gonna let you go. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hey, it's Javari again. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. What happened? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Okay, what's up? How you doing? Long time no talk.
I'm good, all things considered. How are you?
I'm well, man. It's crazy times. Trying to stay sane. I think I'm doing okay.
Yes. And I love your hair like that, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Do you have locks too, or dreads, or whatever?
Yeah, I've been growing. I've been doing this freeform lock thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I discovered this whole thing like 2 years ago, where a person was like, black people can get locks by not, doing anything to their hair, just washing it. And I was like, what? Like that's all I really need to know.
I want more organized. Well, these are twists, and I can take them out because I still like my afro, and I still want to be able to do other things with my hair. But it's just really convenient right now because, if I'm working out, if I'm, doing stuff, I don't have to do my hair every day, And I think my hair's been growing faster, because it can retain moisture more. So.
Yeah, I really fell in love with locks. I fell in love with them. Like I would have did a long time ago, if I wasn't so, brainwashed still.
I know, right? That's a whole nother. I don't know if you were watching then, but I think it was a couple years ago. I did a video talking about hair slavery. And I don't know, for guys it's not so bad, but I think for women it's bad. And how, like the self-hatred basically between the fake hair and the weaves and all that stuff. And I wish I would have gotten hip to it. I mean, it really helped me with my cousin. I had a couple of friends. I had 3 of my friends that were natural, and their hair just looked amazing. But we all went through it. We all talked to each other about, about.
Yeah, I'm saying this as a black male. I think that my black women look the best with their natural hair. It's just my opinion. But I think it's amazing how that very statement can cause so much backlash within our own people.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to start the timer, sorry. I just started. Yeah, no, it's true. Well, because it's been brainwashed into us so much. And I just once I made a decision to go natural, it was really liberating in a lot of ways. And I also hated the fact that, I've had a lot of discriminatory experiences with Koreans in the hair industry, and I didn't like supporting hair stores that were mean to me, that were just and I think the whole natural movement has been really great because it's empowered women with their self-esteem, with health. The chemicals that we put on the hair are so damaging, are carcinogenic. All this stuff that I was starting to learn, I'm like, it's just opened up a whole new world to me. And then it was weird because I didn't know how to do my hair for the longest time, and I think that's the thing that people struggle with. They don't know their hair, they don't know the structure of it, they don't know how it works, they don't know the things that we need for it to thrive. You have to learn all that stuff.
Just the simple fact of me not even knowing about freeform locks, until 2 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
More people need to know and have more knowledge, put onto them.
But then if you have freeform locks,
because you're right.
Wait, you can't really. Your hair's gonna rip out if it tangles, right?
Yeah, like detangling hair, like combing it and all that. That is really bad for like 4C black hair. A lot of these people don't know that a lot of these products that are on the shelf do harm the scalp. It does harm the hair, in the long run.
I make, except for leave-in conditioners, but all my other products I make. I'm learning to make my own stuff. Like I make my own shampoo out of African black soap, like the real African black soap that looks like oatmeal. Like I do that. I have my own hair oil. I use Ayurvedic stuff. I make most of the stuff that I put on my hair now that I make flaxseed gel oil. Flaxseed gel. And the only thing, and I just haven't learned to make conditioner yet, but I still buy that. But other than that, I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, people need to know about coconut oil too.
Coconut
oil is really a miracle.
Oh my God, so many ways. Your skin, your hair, it's a good lubricant. You can cook with it.
Yes.
You can drink it. You can it's a good makeup remover.
Yep.
It's so good for you. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like a de-ager, like all this stuff. Like it's great for the skin.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And people don't know that just pure coconut oil, is enough for all of this. Like you said, you can cook with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I cooked with it yesterday. Not today because I had a salad, but yesterday I fried some chicken. Because black people, we like our chicken.
Man.
Fried some chicken.
And you didn't even invite me over?
I'm sorry, man. I was hungry, man. I fried it up. I ate all of it. Ate it all. So I know we're talking about, you didn't know this was going to be like a fashion show today, did you? We're talking about hair. People are like, what are you guys talking about? We're just talking about
we didn't went way off topic here.
Yeah. It's it's one of the best decisions I ever made. And my cousin, she did hair for years before she finally decided to get her license. She just needed to get certified, but then when she got her license, she came back and she's like, oh my God, you have to get off relaxers. They're terrible for you. They're so evil and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, girl, creamy crack for life. Like, I didn't think I was going to stop because I just didn't know how to. And I basically would just straighten my hair and just put it in a bun, And now that I'm like, man, my hair's thicker. It's better. Like, I love it. I can do. Anyway, what do you think about all the stuff going on? No more talking about hair. I love hair. I think hair is fascinating of all textures. I could talk about hair for hours, but what's going on with everything? Where are you now, and how are you dealing with all the craziness that's going on?
Yeah, I'm dealing with it. Every day I wake up, it's just one thing after the next. It's just so surreal, just unbelievable.
Well, are you working? Are you having any violence in your area? How are you dealing with it?
I'd rather not, say my location and all that, but the area that I'm in, it's very peaceful. Okay. I think because we do have a good mayor, where I'm at.
Okay.
So, I'm usually, or I'm in, North Dakota. I'm not touching Minneapolis right now, even though that's the place where I grew up. But I have no desire to go there or move back there because of all the craziness going on. But I wanted to follow up one thing that you had asked me last time. You asked me, was there like an event or anything before 9/11 that caused me to wake up? Mm-hmm. And there really wasn't. I don't think there was an event that happened, but I would always watch documentary. Like, I was a documentary nut. Like, I watch all kinds of documentaries about the world because, I was interested in what was actually going on in the world, not just what they were showing us on TV. And entertainment and all that. So I watched a lot of documentaries, and I think all those documentaries that I watched, whether it be about, stuff about overseas or things that's going on outside in the United States, I think it helps me now, like when I'm digging up information, I can reference some of those documentaries and, decipher what is truth and what are lies. I can go back to, oh yeah, I remember this documentary. Okay, I think this documentary was like propaganda. This documentary, yeah, that was propaganda. Or this documentary, okay, was telling some bit of the truth of what's going on.
Yeah, well, you're smart like that, because I think that some people, they just watch one documentary and they're like, oh, you got to kind of look at different sides. You got to watch an opposing documentary on the subject and then kind of make your decision,
Yes. And also, I never fit in. Like, I never fit in anywhere. Like, I was always, the loner in school. Like, I didn't really feel like I fit in with any of the groups.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, I felt like I related to each of them, or I understood each of the groups.
Yeah.
Every school has their group.
Yeah, you're like me, like a click. I call it click hopping. I was kind of like the same way. I said I was kind of like the same way. I call it a click hopper. A click hopper. Like I didn't have a click per se, but I had friends in all the different cliques, and those are my. You know what I mean? Like you said, like you understood them, but you didn't really feel like you fit in. I didn't feel like I fit in with a particular clique, but I felt like I like musicians, I like the dancers, I like the actors, I like this, because I went to performing arts in high school. Our cliques were kind of relegated by what we were most interested in, So I kind of hopped around to all
I graduated from high school in Minneapolis, high school in North Minneapolis. That's why when all the the crazy stuff went on in Minneapolis and the cities were torn down, that affected me.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like, this is the place where I grew up.
Oh totally.
This is the place where I've seen so much and learned a lot of stuff, and now to see my city like that, it was. I was upset. Few of my family were upset with what we were seeing. We were just depressed that whole week.
Yeah, but that's how I felt during the riots. And, it's just devastating to see, your hometown like just burn and just be destroyed. It's devastating. Not trying to cut you off. I'm just trying to relate. Like I know what that's like. That's something I can actually relate to. Yeah.
Yeah, and during I'd say the beginning of your stream, you brought up somebody brought up NPCs. For those who don't know what NPCs is, that's non-player characters. They call it like non-player characters in the Matrix, or just people who go along with whatever is going on in the Matrix.
Yeah. They don't have a mind of their own.
It's funny that you brought that up.
Sorry, they don't have a mind of their own.
What was that?
People that don't have a mind of their own.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was thinking wow, I'm really starting to believe this, because it's like no matter what information you show some people, or no matter how ridiculous the story gets from the mainstream media, it's like they still take it in and they believe it.
Yeah.
And it just makes you kind of go back and look and are these people like NPCs? Like you have to be out of your mind, or probably not have a mind to really believe what's being said, at this point.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I know your time's up. I'm trying to say. Sorry, I know there's somebody else that was trying to call. I'll give you a little more time, but I know somebody else was trying to call in. Is there anything else you want to say?
No. We usually talk a while anyway. So.
Okay.
I guess the one thing that I want to leave with is, it feels like they're not even trying to let us get to the election. I mean, do you feel that way?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of. I think it is political, but I also think there's a lot of stuff going on too. There are many different tiers and layers to what's going on, but for sure, they don't want us. I know so many people that have told me secretly that they're going to vote for Trump, and I didn't even vote for Trump last time, and I'm going to. This has been kind of like my journey since that I didn't vote for anybody, but now, I just know so many people now that are, and they tell me in confidence, they're like, don't tell so and so, don't tell this person, don't I'm like, all right. So
Yeah,
I think the
I
silent
feel,
majority is a
I
several
feel
thing.
confident in Trump right now, but trust me, I'm still watching him like a hawk.
Well, he's a man.
Because,
He's a person.
you know,
He's a man. He can't solve everything.
the level, no, it's just the level of deception that has went on. The level of deception is so big right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just still watching Trump. He hasn't let me down yet, thankfully. And, come November, I am looking to give him my vote.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to carry a level of,
discernment, and you should never you should never put people on pedestals, and you'll always be disappointed. So, but let me take this other caller.
Yeah.
Let me take this other caller, Javari.
Okay, sure thing.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Is this the live call?
Yeah. Is there any way? There's some static in your background. I can't really hear you that well.
Let's see.
Do you have the light? Do you have the what do you call it? The volume up on the computer or something? Turn that off. Turn that down.
Yeah, I think it's off now. Is it better now?
It's a little better. I still hear a little something on the in the background, but it's fine. It's better. So what's your name?
Give me 1 second. 1 second.
Okay.
I just need to 1 second.
Okay.
I'm just moving to 1 second, please.
Okay.
Yeah, hello?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think I finally, I just had to, got
right,
it.
cool.
Yeah,
I'm in time. Yeah. What's your name? I'm going to start the timer right now. What's your name?
John?
John? Okay. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah. So I don't know, are you available to talk right now? Or is the weird thing is, like the call seems to be like the live chat on YouTube seems to be like maybe a few minutes behind or even longer than that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so just talk and it will catch up. So just do your thing. You're in real time with me. So what's going on?
Yeah, I guess, what's your opinion on, like, I followed your channel. I've been following your channel for a few years now. I've always found your channel to be quite interesting. So I was wondering, like, what's your opinion on, so I've heard you talk about Trump himself, but what's your opinion on, Melania Trump? Because I've always thought it'd be interesting to hear what your opinion on, what she's done, or, what, if you think perhaps the public perception of her is overblown, or if it's underblown, or, it's just, I just wanted to hear, that's one of the things I just wanted to hear your opinion on.
I don't really pay attention to her as much. I think that it kind of ticks me off. I remember when, he was first elected and people were making fun of her accent and stuff. And I'm like, she speaks like 5 languages. What are you talking about, I'm sure she's a smart woman. I just haven't really followed her or haven't really... What the hell was that? Okay. I haven't really followed her. And I don't really know that much about her, so I don't think I can really answer that question as much because I'm sorry, I just, as somebody that likes languages, I think it's awesome that she knows a lot of languages. When I think of her, that's really what I think of,
Yeah.
And she's fucking gorgeous. She's a beautiful lady. She's like 60 or something. I was like, can I look like that when I'm 60? How old is she? 50, 60?
Well, now she turned 50 recently, but, she started as First Lady when she was, what was that, 46? Yeah, 4 years ago, so that would have been when she was 46. Yeah, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So did you have an opinion about her?
Well, what's interesting to me about her is I've kind of been tracking both Donald Trump, of course, but also Melania, while as the presidency has progressed, right? And I think I'm a young person. I'm in my early 20s in college. Mm-hmm. On the East Coast, I live pretty much in New York City, so it's a bit controversial to say a bit, but I think that the way people have kind of, the amount of vitriol that people have kind of, skewed her way, or, all the criticism has been kind of, overblown. It's very, I don't know, it's very, that was just my kind of take on things, how it's all kind of, overblown in that regard, in regards to
I
her,
think
so.
That kind of goes, it's like whoever the president is, the first lady is going to get the love or the hate, it's like when Michelle Obama, and it's like I've never really, as long as I can remember, I can never really known people to separate the two. So if they like the president, they're going to love his wife. If they hate the president, they're going to hate his wife.
I kind of know what you mean, yeah. They're kind of like a single entity.
Yeah, exactly. Because I never really, people that like Obama, they never talk shit about Michelle Obama.
It's like an automatic.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing with Trump. And like I said, I haven't seen her done anything. And of course, anything that she does is going to be overblown because of what Trump does. So it's like anybody, but you notice anybody that's associated with Trump is lambasted and just ridiculed for no reason. It's overblown anyway. If if you're like walking, park to a parked car next to Trump and you're putting change in the same meter that he's putting it in, and you say hello to him or something like that, people are like, oh my God, she's a terrible person. Like, I can't believe she actually said hi to him, it's insane. And this is the thing that's really turned me around and got me to notice a lot of the craziness that was going on, because it's like, even when, I would consider myself a liberal and I didn't like Bush. I mean, I still don't like Bush, so I don't, but I'm saying but it's like, I've never seen this level of vitriol. Because even when, back in the day, but you said you're in early 20s, so you probably don't remember this. When people liked Bush, nobody really talked crap about his wife. It wasn't like, and I don't even remember her.
But she's one of the, she's one of the, she almost reminds me of, well, that's going back to Jackie Kennedy, that's in the 60s, but Laura is one of the few people, no one's ever really had issues with her, but I think because she's always been very, it's interesting, she's also from the South, her husband, I believe he was, but she actually supports the LGBT, she was always she just always kind of had a more, I don't want to say progressive, but more, I don't even know what the term is. I think you know what I'm trying to get at, but she was just always more...
Yeah, she's a little bit more liberal. Yeah, left-leaning maybe, And so does Ivanka seem like she's a little bit like that. But, I mean, they call him anti-Semitic, and his son-in-law's Jewish, and his daughter converted to Judaism, and he has 2 grandsons that are Jewish, and they still call him anti-Semitic. It's just... it's insane. But I was, it's really kind of like, it is like, I believe that Trump derangement syndrome is real. And because it's like, okay, well, you can like him or hate him or even disagree with him, but there are people that just wake up every day and it's like a drug. Like, they get off of hating Trump and anybody that's associated with him. Even, I've never seen this level of vitriol to people that support it. Because even when I didn't like Bush, and I'm like, oh my God, Bush is terrible, blah, blah, blah. I still had friends that were Republicans. I never was like, oh my God, you're a Republican, you're terrible. you know, we just probably wouldn't talk about politics and we'd find other things to talk about, but I didn't feel the need to dismiss them or think that there was that they were this evil person that needed to die, you know, because of their political stance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, like I said, and she's not really in the forefront. She doesn't do a lot of stuff. She's just kind of there, you know. She has a son, you know, she's probably doing the mom thing. I think her son's like 9 or 10 now, so that's probably kind of like her focus.
Primary, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of a random, I guess, in terms of more pressing issues or more, there's a YouTuber, I don't know if you're familiar with her, Patricia, I think her name is Patricia Dixon.
I know her, yeah. We're actually friends, yeah.
Not too long ago, she made a video about how, like, it's very interesting, her view of, like, COVID and how, like, oh gosh, what exactly did she say? It was like, it was something along the lines of how apparently, oh gosh, I don't want to like misconstrue what but essentially what she was saying is like how the media apparently is like overblowing how deleterious or how like harmful the virus really is, but then when she turns to her doctor or nurse friends and she asks them how the hospitals are doing, apparently like it's not such a huge issue as it seems to be, stated as in the media. I don't know, it was just a very interesting point that she brought up, kind of what I've just never heard that being like kind of spoken so publicly, which is very interesting to hear.
Because I worked in Texas, you know, she's in Texas too, we're both in Texas, and you know, I mean, it's real. Like, I experienced it, the hospitals being empty for most of the time that I was working, up until a month ago when I'm not working anymore. But I mean, like, they're not overrun, they're not overflow, they've cut people off. So if you don't go and see for yourself, and especially if you're somebody that's scared and living inside your house and not going outside, you can basically be manipulated by anything that the TV says to you, which is crazy. So anyway, I think I want to take the next caller. You got one. Oh, this time's up. But
no problem.
Anyway, no, thanks for calling in. Let me take the next caller. Thanks, John. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Next, 512-481-7464. I'm going until about 8:30, which would be 4 or 5 more minutes. So 512, I'll put it 512-481-7464. I should know this by now. I don't know. I have to look at the number. 481-7464. Okay, 481-7464. Black Rifle Coffee. Do I have to wear a mask, Law Dog? Well, I'm trying to do my own thing. I'm going to see how that goes before I start looking. And actually, I'm tired of working for people. I want to work for myself anyway. So that's what I'm working toward. 512-481-7464. 512. Hey, what's up? You've been trying to get through for a while, huh?
Hey. Hello?
Hey, what's up? You've been trying to get through for a while, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Hey, gorgeous. It's Kyle from Chute.
Oh, hey. You know I love that sexy voice.
How's it going?
Good.
Look, I have a quick question because I know you've done a lot of research into it, but I haven't seen it in any of your videos.
Okay, I'm gonna start the time.
It's about the HIV meds. Do you know long term? Do they kind of like, you know how steroids will kind of like take the place for a man making it, like a man's body will stop making testosterone if he's on steroids for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do the HIV drugs kind of like take the place of? Do they take over the work for your immune system, so your immune system just kind of like stops working? You know,
I don't know the specific answer to it. What I would say is, from like when they started prescribing the AZT drugs, they basically destroyed your immune system. And that's what kills you. And you usually died of like pneumonia or something. You usually died of an infection or a cold, not of AIDS. So AIDS was like the acquired immune deficiency syndrome. If you want to know specific drugs, what you can probably do is like find out the drug that the person is taking and then look for the adverse events long term and see what happens. Because like different companies make different HIV drugs. So that's I was like, I don't have a specific answer. So you might have like Merck that makes this particular HIV drug, or like Sanofi Pasteur, or you might have like GlaxoSmithKline, which are different. They probably have their own different patents on quote unquote HIV drugs, and they might have different effects. So that's what I'm saying. You have to find out the particular name of the drug, and then and then figure out what the long-term adverse events or effects are. But you know, my friend, when I was, I mentioned in the last video I was talking about Fauci. I had two family friends that died of AIDS, and then my roommate, when I got older, my roommate had a roommate who had AIDS or HIV, but he had like 20 pills to take. And then he had another 20 pills to counteract the side effects from the drugs that he was taking. Wow. It was insane. Wow. Like he'd have cups of pills on the counter. It was crazy. I'm like,
look, I had a friend who had it for like 25 years. He shot up meth like the whole time. He had pneumonia 13 times, and he died from cardiomyopathy from doing too much drugs. At 49. Can you believe that shit?
Damn. Well, he shouldn't have been. I mean, I'm not saying that's good, but I'm saying like he shouldn't have been shooting at meth. That just made things worse.
No, but it wasn't happening. He started early, so you know it's like it was something he never really could kick. I tried to help him many times, but he never could get over it, and it ended up getting him. But hey, I have one more comment. Have you heard of the BLM charges that are showing up on Kroger receipts at the top of them?
No, what?
Yeah, like nominal cents. All you have to do is look at a BLM charge Kroger receipt. Look it up online, and people have been like, these just like small fraction cents of like 59 cents, 25 cents, and it's got a BLM charge on it. When you do the research, they try to say because it's a coin shortage that some Krogers are just charging you for the change that they don't have, keeping the change basically, which doesn't make sense to me.
What?
And why would you call it a BLM charge? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my God. This is like, are we in the Twilight? Can we leave the Twilight Zone? Can we just leave today? You know what, Kyle? Could you do me a favor? Because I was telling him about your. Could you tell me? Did Axe talk about it on the channel?
No. I just found out about it today.
No. I'm sorry. Your situation you were telling me about yesterday. What happened when you were in the store with a guy kicking out the...
Oh, you're talking about Pet Supermarket.
Yeah. Could you tell them? Do you want to tell them?
Yeah.
You probably tell it better.
Oh, yeah, sure. So me and Axe, we went up to Kroger Publix first to fill up our water bottles. And then we went into the Pet Supermarket beside it to see what kind of balls they had for the dogs, right? Mm-hmm. And there was a black guy working the counter and another white guy who was the manager, and the black guy tried to hand us bandanas, and Axe grabbed them. He was like, "Oh, nice, thanks, bandanas for my dog." And the guy was like, "No, those are for you." And we were like, "Well, we don't wear masks." And the guy like started freaking out. You know, he was like, "Y'all got to leave the store. We're not going to sell anything to you." And we were like, "Well, we didn't come in here to buy anything anyway. We just came in here to look around." So they were trying to force us out of the store, and we were like, "We're going to take our time. We don't believe in it." We're like, we haven't worn masks the whole time. And the big black guy, he like started screaming like, "My aunt just died of it." He's like, "I don't want to die. I don't want to die."
Wow.
So we ended up walking out the store. And when we got to the car, we heard like boom, right? And we looked back, and he had kicked the front glass door out of the Pet Supermarket. Seriously. This guy totally lost it and busted the whole freaking door out.
Dude, yeah, that's crazy. Your version's better. I kind of told them a little about it because we were talking about how I forgot what the name of the caller was. I've been trying to keep track, but they called in and they were just talking about how people are manipulated by fear and how it drives them to a state of psychosis.
Uh-huh.
You know.
See, I strongly believe that This is just my personal belief, but I believe that the mask and all the social distancing and stuff like that, I think it has a spiritual implication. And and I tell people that, like, I walk around with a mask on my forehead, and I have written in Sharpie 666 on it, and it's like. It's when you go and walk through the door, it's like a speed pass. People won't even look at you. They don't ask you to put a mask on your face or anything. It works like a charm. I swear.
They think you're a Satanist.
A big old 666
they think you're a Satanist,
forehead.
and they don't. There's like, oh shit.
Anytime I leave the house, I put it on, and nobody fucks with me. I swear. I call it my mask mandate speed pass.
And you know what I'm saying? But you'd be like, oh, it's a 999. What are you talking about? It's not 666. That's so funny. Yeah, I did that. I went to Ma Pizza and they got mad at me. I put it on my head too. But yeah, they just think you're crazy. That's the best. You people think you're crazy. Most of the time they won't fuck with you unless they're really crazy too. You know?
Well, see, I had that on my forehead when we were in a pet supermarket too, and I told the guy, I said, I don't do it for spiritual reasons and religious reasons. And he was like, well, what does it have to do with it? I said, it's the mark of the beast. And he's like, he really started getting mad then. And then after we left, he's like, you know, I'm like, I wonder if it was because we wouldn't put it on or if it was the truth bomb that blew up in his head and he just couldn't take the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
I mean, I don't know. But didn't you tell me too, or Dax was saying that, like, when you were talking, there was somebody in their mask that took their mask off. I forgot to tell about that part, right? They took them off.
Oh,
right?
no, so that was Axe when he went to the dollar store yesterday and the cashier trying to make him wear a mask, and he started explaining to everybody in the store about how it was unhealthy and how it was about he started just saying this. He said, the NWO, the New World Order, wants to kill you, and they're trying to kill you with these masks and these vaccines. And he said people started taking their masks off. Wow,
that's cool. Like, that's why, you know, some of my friends and family get mad at me because they're just like, oh, just don't, like, you know, don't say anything, you know, just kind of keep your head up. But I'm like, you have to speak up. I'm saying pick your battles, right? But, like, you got to speak up and, like, not say anything. And my best friend and her husband have been going at it because he's just like, oh, you should wear it because it makes people feel comfortable. And she's like, well, how about I don't wear it because it's going to make people feel confident. If they see that I'm confident and I'm healthy and I'm not wearing a mask, then maybe they'll feel the same way. And then she was saying that she went into a store and she knew that they weren't going to really bother her. And she's in California, but she wasn't wearing a mask. And then there was another guy that was in the parking lot, and he was on the phone talking to his friend. And he was like all happy and be like, "Oh my God! Like, look, there's a lady. She's not wearing a mask too." And he like gave her like a thumbs up or whatever. So, I mean, you have to. This is the thing that's just frustrating. There's more of us than there is of them, and they only have us controlled because they have us controlled by fear. And I know my mom gets on my nerves. I get on my mom's nerves because I call her up and I'm always telling her stuff, but I know deep down she knows that this is not right, you know? And I know that there are a lot of people
it's all about information and education. You know what I mean? It's like the only reason why I don't wear one and I'm not afraid is because of the research that I've done. It's crucial now.
Yeah.
And people are lazy as fuck. They don't want to research. They just want to what's the most common thing? Anytime you make a statement online, what's the first thing a Democrat says? Can you provide a link to that? I'm like, see, that's what's wrong with y'all. If I see something and I question it, I go look for myself. I don't need your links.
Yeah, that's right. And then you give them the links, and they'll be like, "That's not a proper source." Like, you know what I mean? That's biased. I looked at Snopes, and Snopes says that you were lying. Like, you know what I mean? They're so lazy. Yeah, right? They'll go to Google. They'll be like, is it true that masks don't work? And then Snopes will come up, and then it'll be like, no, silly. Snopes says that that's a lie. And they'll be like, look, see?
Just like you don't, obviously you don't know that Snopes is run by 2 of George Soros's old hookers.
Yeah, right. And that's
Basically.
true. As crazy as that sounds, it's true. But hey,
You
Kyle.
never even looked into that. Shit. Well, you definitely can't talk to me.
Hey, Kyle, let me call you a little bit later because I'm timing people. Your time's
Sure.
up, and I'm trying to get other calls. I only got 30 more
All right,
minutes.
all right.
So.
Well, thanks for
Okay,
thanks
bye.
for taking my call.
Okay,
Thanks for the info.
Okay, yeah, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
512-481-7464. Have I not cursed? I don't think I've cursed so much. I think I did pretty good, right? I know there's somebody who was looking at, actually, you've said 10.17 curse words since, today's my mom's birthday, you guys. I told her to watch. I don't know if she's watching. I meant to wish her a happy birthday at the beginning of the cast of the live show, but I forgot. But I mean, I talked to her. I wished her a happy birthday on the phone too. 7464. If I went 241-7464. I know there were 2 more people that were trying to get through. Did you guys give up? I'm doing this show a little earlier now. Come on, you guys. 512-481-7464. I called my mom. We talked. I sent her a present. But I don't know if she's gonna get it on time because of the COVID. 512-481-7464. All right. Well, if somebody doesn't call in 5 minutes. All right. Well, do you have any I'll set the timer for 5 minutes. Somebody doesn't call in 5 minutes. I think that's all the callers that are going to call. Oh. Hello. What's going on? Who's this?
Hi.
Who this?
This is Chute. I'm in Houston. My name is Chute. I was wondering, is anybody getting locked up?
Locked up? What do you mean?
Yeah, not just Ghislaine or, the late, so-called late Epstein, but I mean, the people, their clients, the people that they serviced.
Oh, I thought I was thinking, hi, Chi, by the way. How you doing? I was thinking,
Hi.
I'm
Cool.
gonna start the timer now. Okay. When you said locked up, I was thinking like locked in, like lockdown, because I kind of had it in my head that my friend was telling me.
Oh, right, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, I know.
Is anybody getting locked
Yeah.
up for their stuff?
I'm just asking you to just speculate.
I think that I know that they have Ghislaine, I don't know what the hell her name is. I know they have her. They've probably been following her for a while. She's probably giving names and stuff. I think because it's so widespread and so prolific that they have to make sure they have enough evidence, especially since there's a lot of high-profile people with money involved before they can, really nail them to the cross or the floor, wherever they're going to nail them to. A couple months ago, I had a lady call in, and she her and her sister watched, and she was telling me that she escaped from this cult that was in Mexico, and that they actually broke up this cult, and that they actually arrested the cult leader, and once he was exposed, people started leaving, and she was like almost in tears, and she's telling me this, and she's saying that she never thought in her lifetime that this would happen, because this cult has like reigned Mexico for decades, maybe even centuries,
Wow.
So I know, I've heard small stuff here and there, but what happens is, I think, the way other people have explaining it to me, I don't know everything, but they have to go for the lower dogs before they can get the higher dogs. Does that make sense? Right? Because what happens is they'll get the lower ones, right? So the people that were probably like that are no name, that aren't as powerful as the people at the top, that were actually kidnapping the kids and killing the kids and selling the kids and buying the kids, you know. And they'll probably get some of those once they can arrest those people, they'll get tortured or whatever, you know, scared that they're going to go to jail forever or whatever. And they'll get tortured, and then they'll give names, and then those people will give names, and it just kind of completes the cycle. But they got to have, like, for the big wigs, for like the politicians, celebrities, people in royalty, they got to have a lot of evidence on them. Not only because they have their money to buy their way out of it, but B, you know, they're going to, if this is presented to the public, like the public is really going to need to see a lot of evidence. You know, I think it's going to be mass hysteria once this stuff comes out.
All their lawyers will die.
Huh?
All their attorneys will get killed and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, so they have to, it's so widespread, it's worldwide. I know that Prince Andrew is cooperating. I don't know if you ever saw that interview on him where he was like, I mean, he incriminated himself so bad.
I didn't know in my lifetime they would be subject to that kind of scrutiny.
Well, check this out. I don't know how old you are, but years ago, you might want to check out some stuff on Diana. And I don't know if you know about the Jimmy Savile ring. Have you heard of him, the Jimmy Savile? Huh?
Jimmy Savile, yeah, I've heard of him, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Diana, she kind of, looking at some of her interviews and stuff, I'm like, I know she probably knew about it, but what could she say, you know? And, you know, but he was connected to the royal family, you know? And then there was that, yeah, and then there was that, I don't know if you ever saw that footage of the tour bus that was going by the Buckingham Palace, and there was a little naked boy that like was climbing out the window, and somebody caught.
But I did see that.
Yeah. So I know they're doing stuff. I know, like there's just so. I mean, those are just a few examples. There's so many other examples, you know, about who's involved. If you really start to look into it, you can see that, and it is all these celebrities that are having these parties where they're, you know, like the cake parties and eating people cakes. And I'm like, come on, dude.
I saw that in 2016 when Assange released that stuff.
Oh, my God, dude.
The spirit cooking stuff.
The spirit cooking, and then but they have the open parties where they have, technically, I guess it's a cake, but even, why is that even cool that you're going to make a cake of a human body? Like, how is that, like...
It's disgusting.
Yeah. So, and then they have the symbolism and stuff, and I used to like, I was like, oh, come on, they're not really into that, but I'm just like, okay, does every music video have to have, like, a Baphomet symbol? You know, right. Like, how many checkered floors are going to be, and like, how many upside-down crosses? Why are they talking about killing and eating people? Like, why? How is that cool, you know? So, I really think that there's something to it, but just my guess, going back, sorry I went on a tangent, but going back to why you asked me, if anybody has been locked up, I think that they really have to go after the small potatoes people first. And I know that they are arresting some people, but it seems like a lower level. And then what's his face? The MMA fighter, Nino Rodriguez, you know, he was saying that I'm trying to not spend so much time on social media, but he's talking about basically that he's seen, you know, firsthand accounts of people getting arrested and stuff. He can't see what or who, but so I just my guess, I just think that they're working their way up. So is this something that's really important to you? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, I just want to know what people think if people are getting locked up.
I mean, it might be a few years. I don't know how.
Anytime I tweet at Trump, I tell him lock her up or lock people up or lock them all up. Just for fun. So to make sure things are proceeding, because I don't want people to get locked up.
It's so, I know, right? It's so prolific. It's so widespread. It's so common. I mean, maybe common is not the word. It's going to take a while. It might take a few more years, you know? I mean, I know, like I said, I know little rings are getting busted here and there. Sex cults, they're getting busted here and there, but it's like, it's just going to take a minute. So I'm trying not to, like, you know, they say a watch pot doesn't boil. I'm just trying to keep occupied with other stuff too, because I feel like when I was searching for it for a while too, I was like, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to wait. There's so much stuff about to come to a head. There's so much stuff going on right now, you know. You just got to be prepared. and worry about what's going on in our backyards right now, because that's just,
Definitely.
I think it will come out, though. I have faith that these people will be exposed. So.
Yeah, because when they started to question Prince Andrew, I mean, in my lifetime, unprecedented. So.
Yeah.
I figured, well, finally, certain things are changing. And then the other couple that went to Canada and then maybe Los Angeles or whatever, I've never seen that. So I figured things are starting to happen. Maybe not as fast as I would want them to happen, but they're starting to happen.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a minute. It took a long time for these rings and all of this stuff to build up. It's going to take a while to break them down, So you just got to be patient and, I know, I want it to happen, and I kind of want it to happen this for selfish reasons, so I can just tell people, be like, I told you so. No. A lot of people feel like that, right?
But
they're just like,
people can't deny it anymore. You know what I mean? They really can't.
Well, they can, because there's just a lot of people that don't want to look at it.
They don't, whatever her name is.
Yeah, they don't want to look at it. And I think they can say, okay, somebody like Epstein and Ghislaine, but they don't really know how deep it goes. And it's really going to be hard for them to see people that they admired and idolized that were in on it too. I'm just kind of, even though I know it, I'm just preparing myself too. I'm just like, what if it's this celebrity that I liked? I'm like, what if it's Hugh Jackman or Will Smith, or it's probably art? Oh my God, what am I going to, you know what I mean? Oh my God, I like this person so much. So,
did you see Michael, no, not him.
Hold on one second.
Magic Johnson, did you see his son?
No, what happened?
That's another tangent.
What happened?
We don't need to go down, but I thought that was weird.
What happened? You got 1 minute. What happened to your son? Tell me now.
No, it's just that he's cross-dressing and looks very interesting.
Oh, no.
I'll leave it there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Magic Johnson? Okay, Magic Johnson.
Yeah, the basketball player. Back in the day.
I got a caller coming in, but you got 39 seconds.
Oh, okay.
You want me to let you go? Thanks for calling in, though.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to thank you so much. You have a great show. I do follow you, and have a blessed rest of the evening.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, who's on the line?
Inonge.
What's up, girl? How you doing? Oh, you called me. I have my phone here.
I've been calling. I called about 20 times.
I was like 512 Austin, but I'm trying to give people I'm trying to time, so I can call you when the show's done too. But you want to talk to people? I got you on 10 minutes, and then I'll call you again after we can finish up.
Okay.
After. What's up? How you doing?
Well, I just want to say, I know you know this happened to me yesterday when I called you. Well, I texted you, and then you called me.
Yeah.
And I was excited about how I had this superpower when I went into the H-E-B grocery store. And I was like, I'm protected by angels. I've got God's protection. Nobody's going to mess with me. If anybody dares to talk to me, I'm just going to be very still and quiet and look at them. So I go in the H-E-B, and there are all these managers and staff, and everybody's kind to me. People are making eye contact with me. They're smiling. They're nodding. They're saying hi. And I'm in the grocery section. This guy, I hear some guy behind me. He's like, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. And I'm like, he's not talking to me. And I keep walking. And then he comes in front of me, and he goes, excuse me, ma'am, why don't you should be... And then he just slinks away as quickly as he came. It's like I had this force field that just bounced him off me. And I was ready to just be really still and let him have his say and say not a word, but my power was too strong. And I'm telling you, I felt like a superhero. I really felt like most people were looking at me with appreciation, thank you, you're doing what I want to do,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it was me or that the tide is turning and people are like, wait a minute. It was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and look at where we are now, But anyway, it was an amazing feeling because the week before, some guy came up to me in the parking lot. He filmed me, and he said he was going to put me on Nextdoor and Facebook. And he called me ignorant. And, you know, at the end of the conversation, because I gave him all sorts of knowledge, at the end of the conversation, I said, okay, well, you know what? If you want to wear that muzzle, go ahead, wear your muzzle. And he was like, oh, why are you being so mean? Why are you calling me names? I was like, hey, never called you a name. You called me ignorant. Now, I could call you ignorant. I could call you a moron. I could call you backwards. I could call you stupid. I could call you brainwashed. I could call you so many names, but I'm not calling you any of those names, even though I'm perfectly justified to. And then he's like, well, bye. Have a wonderful evening, ma'am. And, you know, you can find me at the library. And he points behind himself. At the library, I'm there every day. And we can have a conversation. Man, anyway.
But you know what? You have more patience than me. I know that. I said, you definitely have more patience than me. You know, like, just to kind of stand there.
Well, it
like,
was like the first conversation, but it was so funny because, like, I was talking at the top of my lungs in that parking lot, and I was like, look, do you know what Bill Gates is doing in Africa? Do you know his history in Africa? Because he was like, I'm a very educated man. I'm a very educated man. I mean, I get my news from many different sources. And I was like, oh, really? Which? CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC. I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, and
NPR.
He considered himself educated. Yeah, NPR. And I listened to NPR for like, I don't know how many, 20 years. Every day, listen to NPR. Now when I listen to it, I just get the heebie-jeebies. It's like my skin crawls, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Because I used to think they were so smart and the authorities and everything, and it's not.
They use
and one last.
I'm sorry. The voice too, like the calming voice is kind of like hypnotic, right? Like the type of
it's kind
cadence
of hypnotic,
that they.
And I have to say it's a little bit like. Now when I listen to it, I feel like I'm being molested. Honestly.
Like you're being
like
what? I'm sorry. Like you're being what?
It's invasive. You know.
Yeah.
It's invasive. But I didn't see it before, but now I do. It's like the snake, you know, like I can imagine, you know, in the Garden of Eden and, you know, the snake and, I'm going to tell you a wonderful story.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's so, very, anyway, very sneaky. Yeah, right.
I have to say, I am free, I'm free, I'm free, you know. You know, seek and ye shall find. If you seek the truth, you'll find it. You know, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of the death, I fear no evil. Like that fear of death, the fear of killing somebody, I have no fear whatsoever. I feel so solid, you know, solid in this world and solid in my life. And I just want to help bring people out of this hypnotic trance that they have most of the world under, you know. It's like... So this is an amazing time to be alive if you know the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so crazy to think that there are people who haven't left their homes since March, and they're scared to death. And I talked to a woman today, and she was like, my first cousin just died of COVID. And I said, really, what happened? She was like, he got on a bus and he sat down and he died. And I was like, that doesn't sound like COVID. And she was like, well, we don't know, but we're presuming it's COVID. I'm like, let me tell you, if you die of COVID-19, you know, I don't really believe it's real anyway, but anyway, not in that case. I think it's like, it's a coronavirus, but anyway, or it's just exosomes. It's a demolished immune system. I was like, he's not going to be able to even leave his room. If you have COVID-19 or the flu, you're going to be in bed with the aches and the chills and the fevers and feeling horrible. There's no way that anybody can get on a bus. You know, I was like, it sounds like a heart attack or heart failure.
Yeah.
You know?
And then how did he get it? Like, did everybody on the bus die of COVID too? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I was like, COVID doesn't just kill people like that. I mean, you're going to be in bed for a while, you know? You're going to deteriorate. You're going to have a cough. You're going to have difficulty breathing, you know, chest pains and stuff. And it's like, it didn't even occur to her because everybody in her world is telling her it was COVID-19. You know? I mean, it's just so insane. And like, people think that wearing a mask, I mean, it's so crazy. How many times have I been out to eat already, put the mask on, go sit at the table, take the mask off? And this is so crazy. I was taken out to dinner for my birthday, and we were like all eating the birthday cake and ice cream off the same plate. Like, all of us at the table, 4 of us.
And you didn't die of COVID?
I didn't die of COVID. I take care of my 100-year-old grandmother and my parents, who are 85 and 77. My mother had leukemia and a stem cell transplant. And I just don't believe in COVID, so nobody got sick. But guess what? My brother-in-law texts me saying, if anybody in the house dies, you kill them. I'm like, oh, you mean if they die of old age, if they die of natural causes, I killed them?
If they die of imaginary COVID?
If I didn't wear a mask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm putting the light on.
Like, whatever. It's, you know, I'm like, wow, my brother-in-law thinks I'm a murderer, preemptive murderer already, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's destroying families. It's tearing families apart.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's terrible.
And people are dying. People are dying, you know, already. And not because of COVID, but because of COVID-19 policies. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I could go on and on, but...
well, I mean, like, it's what was I going to say? It's like there are more deaths of despair and that people that have died than people that have died of COVID.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And nobody cares. Nobody cares about this.
Even like I come from Lesotho in South Africa. I grew up in Lesotho, but I'm also a citizen of South Africa. But South Africa shut the border to Lesotho, so for a couple of months there was no medicines going into Lesotho, and so all of these Lesotho people who live like Americans and they, you know, eat like Americans and they have American diseases like high blood pressure and diabetes and stuff, people have begun dying because they didn't have access to their medications for a long period of time. You know, it's ridiculous. And there's humanitarian crises, India, South Africa, South Sudan, even the United States. People are going without enough food. And before the shutdown, I was writing on Facebook, all these things are going to happen. And people were like, you know, accusing me of being a Trump supporter. And I'm like, no, this is just biology. It's biology. You know, what can I say? Growing up in Lesotho, everybody had a garden, and some people had a few farm animals and stuff like that, and there were farm animals everywhere, and we understood the cycles of life, you know, and a friend of mine in Lesotho told me now everybody wants to be modern, so not only have they gotten rid of their lawns, they've like paved their lawns over.
Oh my God.
Isn't that great? Just you know, they think that's like living like, you know, a modern person, which brings me to the name of that vaccine company called Moderna. And have you noticed that in the mainstream media, anybody who doesn't believe in wearing masks is depicted as backwards and savage? Yeah. You know, and so if you wear a mask, you're showing that you are a modern person. You know, you're a 21st century science believer. You know, you keep up with the technology and you're a highly educated person. But if you don't believe in a mask, you're just a savage, you know. Yep. Anyway, if anybody hasn't noticed that, next time just watch how people who don't believe in masks are depicted. We're backwards, we're uneducated, we're ignorant, you know.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let me
crazy.
Don't kill me. Your time's up. Your time's up. No. I'll call you back. I'll call you back in like 10 minutes. I'm gonna take one more caller, and then I'll call you back after. Okay.
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 I love you too.
Okay. Bye. Bye. You too. Hello. It's my friend. She's a really, really good poet. She's an amazing poet, and she's a very good. She's an amazing painter too. I think she's gonna do her interviews too. We need more people going on right now. Okay, one more. Oh. Who is this?
Hey, this is Johnny. How you doing, B?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, we're going on. It's getting a little dark out, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I tried to turn my light on because I realized.
I took a nap.
All right,
I woke up a little late.
Wait, hold on.
I woke up a little late, took a nap, and it's like, oh, I got to get a hold of Virstyne.
Yeah. Let me. I'm gonna start the timer, okay? And I think it'll be my last caller. So
at least I'm a caller.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and do one once a week for now. So it'll be, at least once a week.
Good. Now get all your people together because it's good staying together. I see you got about 70 people out there that are watching, or at least texting, so that's good.
Yeah, but what's even weirder? Like, I swear, like, after I did the last live stream, like, it was about that many, and then I cut it off, and it said, like, 1,000 views or something like that. So, it's weird. Like,
all of us want to talk to you, I guess, or want to get on the phone
or get on the chat. There. Yeah. I don't know. So, anyway... anyway, we'll see. What's going on? Thank you so much for the water. You sent me the water, right?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. For everybody out there, go to APEX put the dash in, water.com, because it's some fabulous stuff. I'm telling everybody. I put it out there, when this COVID started, I bought 40 liters of this stuff and gave away quite a bit, and I put it out at work. Because we have about a couple hundred people at work all the time, and it's like, it's for everybody. Have some of it, and it's done some really good. I'm sure we saved some lives. Any flu or sickness going around, it just keeps it away from you. The stuff will kill off anything that gets in your body.
Will it could you do they have filters? Because I looked up. I mean, do they have their own machines?
If you look up Apex Fire, it'll come right up with a filter. It's an Apex filter.
But does it create oxygen or whatever? Do they have machines that you can hook up to your?
No. This guy, he has a history behind it. If you go to the website, make sure you put the dash in between the Apex and the water, and you can read all about it.
Okay.
It's excellent stuff. I was amazed what it did for my sister who had cancer. She was literally bedridden, couldn't get out of bed for weeks. And in 3 days, she was up and out of bed. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
And that's when I started. It's like, wow, this is some good stuff. And since I started it has helped me. And any application I can put it to, I have a few dogs, and a couple of my bucks got into a fight, and one of them got tore up pretty bad. I almost thought he was dying. But I flushed out his wounds with Apex for about a week, and they just started healing up. No stitches, no nothing. It was like, wow.
There's a lot of amazing stuff. I also am into I'm starting to get into DMSO, because I don't know if you watch Amanda Vollmer of Yum Naturals now. Like, that's her thing. I just bought her book, and I've been on the silver hydrosol color silver. All those things are really good. So when you sent me that, I was like, I love trying new health stuff. I love it.
Yeah, because mainstream, they got all these drugs out there, and I have to laugh whenever I see a commercial.
Yeah.
They talk about how good this stuff is for you, and then kind of quietly they'll go, "Oh, this can give you cancer. This can give you, it can ruin your liver. It can do this. It can do that." It's like, who wants to do these drugs, but this is what they're pushing at us.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable how people are sucked into, viewing, people running through a park and they're having fun and they're playing with their family, but then all of a sudden, they don't show them on their deathbed dying of this stuff too. It's like, it's the same as chemotherapy. It's like, it's just a big moneymaker for the pharmaceuticals. They have probably 7,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 different chemotherapies, and they're all about $5,000 to $10,000 a shot. It's like, why would anybody want to do this? I'd rather die naturally than being cooked on chemo.
Yeah, me too.
Right, which is in the end, that's what they did to my sister. They wouldn't, she wouldn't let mainstream media, or not mainstream media, but the medical mafia go and she ended up getting cooked on chemo, and she died in about 2 weeks after they just overdosed with chemotherapy.
Yeah, you know, my aunt's the same way. I mean, I'm sure everybody, I was really close to my aunt the same way, and I actually went to chemo with her, but at that time, I didn't really know anything about any natural cures. I'd heard hymns there that you could cure yourself from cancer, but I didn't know where to look or where to go or who to listen to. I didn't know anything about that. So I've lost quite a few people. My grandmother, you know, it's funny, John, though, one of my great aunts, she passed away a while ago, but she passed away from something else. But when she was, I guess I wasn't even born yet, but she had cancer in her 30s, 20s, late 20s, early 30s. And she didn't want to do chemotherapy. And she didn't do chemotherapy. And I think it was uterine cancer, and they just removed her uterus. So she already had kids, and she's just like, whatever. But she didn't want to do chemo or any of that stuff. She ended up living until her 80s. The cancer came back, though. Yeah. The cancer came back, though. It came back on her ear. But had she done other, like, alternative stuff that I know about now, I don't know about then, she probably would have been able to get the cancer to shrink on her ear. But she still didn't want to do any chemo or anything for the cancer. And she still lived until she was, like, in her 80s.
Amen. You know, and that's a good life. I mean, you get past your 70s, you get into your 80s, 90s. My dad lived to be 96, and he had obviously issues. I mean, I think the Lord, you know, probably slowed him down because he was such a tyrant when we were coming up. We were all afraid of him. You know, back in the day, that's when, you know, the man was the king of his castle. Mm-hmm. And you know, when all of us kids, he had 9 kids, when all of us kids were making a little noise downstairs, you know, he'd come running down the stairs, and then we'd all scatter. You know, it's like, let's just run away as fast as we can. Because we didn't want to get whipped by him. That's back in the day when, you know, spanking your kids wasn't a crime.
Yeah, but I got whipped everywhere. My mom, I got whipped at Disneyland, okay? Because I was throwing a temper tantrum. I got whipped at Disneyland. I got whipped at the LA County Fair. I got whipped at Kmart. I got whipped. My mom would hit me in the mouth. I would get slapped. But, you know, like I have a smart mouth. You know what I mean? I mean, it's funny now. But at that time, I thought my parents, or especially my mom, because she was like the worst. I thought she was like the worst person ever. But now I can laugh about it, you know. I get it, you know. But yeah, you can't whip anybody.
We all grew up and realized, you know, we're probably a better person because of a little bit of scolding that we got. Today, these kids, you know, oh my God, don't spank your kids. Now look at what's out there in the world, man. They're going crazy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, I think, though, there are a lot of people that have been abused, and they don't make that distinction, you know, a lot of times, because one of my best friends was abused and he was spanked, and he was the first person that really put this in perspective to me, because his dad was like an alcoholic, and he would just come home and take his day out on him, right, and just beat the crap out of him for stupid stuff that he didn't do or whatever. But his grandmother disciplined him, and he was just like, you know, I really think there's a difference between being abused and being spanked, because it's like when you spank somebody, you spank them because they did something, and then you take them aside and you say, okay, do you know why you did what you did? And do you know, this is a consequence of why you did what you did. Are you going to do it again? Okay. Whereas if somebody like comes and like just beats you up or throw, you know, like to the point of, I mean, you know, broken bones and burn you, and, you know, I mean, that's different. But I think that there are people that they don't like make those distinctions, and a lot of people that have been abused, they kind of collapse that with being spanked. I don't know, that's kind of like my assessment.
Yeah. There's definitely a difference between a spanking and a beating, you know. Yeah. And you're right, you know, nobody should get beat down. In my family, there wasn't a lot of love in my family, so we're all kind of dispersed. Some of us are probably dead because of it. I got a couple brothers that took their own lives and stuff, and And it's like, I look back, now that I'm of age and realize that, if there was just a little more love, a lot of us, we couldn't even tell our father we loved him until we were in our 20s and 30s and realized that, this isn't normal. And it's like, yeah, we do love you, but, Dad, you shouldn't have been so tough on us when we were younger,
Yeah.
And,
do you feel like it made you tough as a guy? Because I also noticed there are a lot of guys that I feel like could use a little manning up. I'm not a man. I don't know how to do that. But do you think that you did kind of grow from it in some way?
Well, yeah, I guess, you realize, we all come of an age, hopefully, we all, bloom eventually and come of age and realize that, this isn't the way life should be. It should be a whole lot better than that. And then you pass that on to your kids, obviously.
Yeah.
And just realize that, I got 2 boys and I was telling them that I love them from day one. And that's something I never heard from my parents. Well, my father more than my mother. Mothers always have love. Hopefully, hopefully, mothers always have a little more love for their children. And my dad, he just throughout his whole life, and the sad part is probably the last 15 years of his life, he was just miserable, so miserable. You'd always wish to die, and it's like, maybe God's just teaching you a lesson here that you shouldn't be so mean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that's what it's about. Like, I don't know, if I have kids, if I would try different routes before spanking, but you always, I guess, you want to try and do a little better. That's what it's about, right? Try and do the things that maybe your parents, maybe I won't be so strict. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, we none of us ever heard of a timeout. Our timeout, you probably don't remember Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yes, my cousins, my aunt that I was telling you about, her daughter, they would make, when she would get in trouble, she would make them copy down the encyclopedia. They'd have to write out the encyclopedia. Is that what you're gonna say?
Well, no, my dad made luckily I'm a younger boy. My dad made the older boys hold them out, like your Jesus, standing on a cross on your knees.
Oh, wow.
and hold them out for as long as you could. Obviously, they probably couldn't hold them out very long, but he would torture his kids that way. It's like, really?
Oh my God! Yeah, well, that's way different than I was thinking of. But that was what my aunt would do. She would make them copy the Encyclopedia Britannica, but she's smart. Her and her brother are really smart people because
they probably learned a lot from copying.
Yeah. That was like kind of like standards for them. Be like, copy the whole A book, and they were like, oh my God! So that was like their punishment. It was funny, but dang, I never now I'm sure there are a lot of people that have like really torturous memories of the Encyclopedia Britannica right now, right? It's crazy.
They're all probably thinking about that, like, oh yeah, my dad made me do this or that.
Yeah, totally. That's crazy.
Those were the days, and fortunately, they probably grew up. They were all working, hard-working souls and lost in their, because if you grow up without a lot of love, you don't know how to express your love.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. Yeah, for sure.
So it just goes that way, and then hopefully the kids that come up through that can get a little better and make life a little better for them around them. I have younger nieces and nephews that they have great families, thank God. My oldest brother, who probably took the worst of it all, he grew up through the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
And he's gone and passed on too. It seems like cancer is all around us.
The oldest one always gets it the hardest. I feel I'm the oldest, and I think by the time the parents get to the younger child, they're just tired. They're just like, do what you want.
How many kids in your family?
Just two. But I mean, like, I don't know, just an observation I've noticed by Maybe I'm wrong, but all my other friends too are the oldest. I just kind of feel that, this is my analysis, I don't know how true it is, but it's like, the oldest, the first kid, the parents are freaking out because it's the first kid, they don't want to mess up, and I kind of think that once they kind of get the hang of it, then the other kids don't get it as hard because they're not as like freaked out about it,
Well, my parents had 9 kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're Catholics, so they didn't believe in that birth control.
Yeah.
And my mother's theory was, raise the first 2, and they'll teach all the rest of them as we go along.
Yeah, that's true, though. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I remember, I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and I remember washing dishes for all these kids and family. It's like I had like 7, 8, 9 racks of dishes every day, and my father was such a tyrant that, man, if he found a dirty dish, let's say a glass that smelled a little bit like sour milk or dirt on a plate, he didn't do it to me. But I remember the older kids, man, he would break that plate over the kid's head. It's like, oh
damn,
God.
that's abuse. That's not a spanking. That's too much. My grandmother was one of, I think, 14, or either there were 14 in total or she was one of 14. I think it was 14 in total. So,
can you imagine having 14 kids?
And then my other grandmother was 12. On my other side, it was 12. So yeah, they had a lot of kids back in those days.
Well, I guess back in the day, if something like this virus or something else, smallpox or whatever came around, it would take out half your family. And I believe that's probably why, there was such big families back in the day before there was, the medical, coming up where you can actually live longer. Now, I'm not saying medicine is all bad, but a lot of it today is just, it's pushed out there basically to get your money,
I think allopathic has its place. It has its place in like accidents, and plastic surgery is amazing. I think that's where I have my respect for allopathic medicine, and broken legs and wounds and stuff. But that's what it was really meant for. That's where it, that's where the advent began of allopathic medicine, was for trauma care, and that's where they thrive. But other than that, disease management, they're terrible. But listen, John. Oh, I'm gonna go. This is my last caller.
All right. Well, do me a favor, B, and give me a call sometime. I'd love to talk to you.
All right, cool. Thanks, John. I appreciate it.
God bless you.
Okay,
Love you, sis. You take care.
You too. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, guys. This is going to be my last call tonight. I will do another show. I'll try and do one once a week right now. Once a week on the weekend. I know I saw somebody, I've been trying to monitor the comments and listen at the same time. I saw somebody that said that they were in the UK, and it's kind of hard. Or they're in the UK, maybe they're listening, but I use Skype. So if you want to email info@truthortalk.com and you live in a different country, I'll give you my what do you call it? My Skype, the Skype address. And I think you should be able to call in through Skype, so you don't have to spend money. But you have to email me first, so I can add your email, or I can accept you. And I know it'll be like, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm from England. I want to join your call-in show. Here's my number. And then I'll accept you, and then you can call in that way if you want to do that next time, if you live outside the country. So let me know. Email me at info@truthortalk.com. Maybe put in the subject call-in show or something like that. And I would like to arrange, because I really want to talk to some people outside the country. That would be really badass. I want to know what's going on with you guys. So anyway, please join my email list. Please go by the store. I left donation links and links to my other channels in the bottom. Thank you so much for all the callers that called. I'm getting tired. I'm usually an early riser. Yeah, that's it, y'all. I will talk to you soon. Okay. Peace, tune, love. Bye-bye. Mwah.